So game is starting. I'm switching my overlay right now. And we should be underway in just a moment. So, anything interesting you feel about the way these aliens are splitting right now?
That means they're probably taking topside. I think the Sista Oregon is just to pretend that they're going that expand, so they walk in and see it, and they don't realize it's a topside expand.
And we do have Mirez gorging in waste recycling already. So this is going to be a quick tunnel. It looks like he's going to get all the way up to Baywing. So all four of the Skulk players are playing in between Oxy and Trash in security. And it looks like we have a very aggressive tunnel placement.
Yeah, Dedek was supposed to be B-Wing, so he's late to rotate, which means Smirk takes the room early. This can be good or bad, though, because Solid Snake will come help him there.
Yeah, and no losses yet for the alien team. As we saw Kingo back up to an oxygenation, and now the call has been from the Marine Commander. Oh, that's quite a bad position for the Marines to be in. It's very important early on for Marines to win their engagement because of how much slower they are than aliens to get out on the map. This causes, a big strategic gap to evolve just because you're slow to get back out and reestablish on the map. Oh my god, Dedek taking another fight for this alien team. This is looking very difficult for Fades with Shades already.
Meanwhile, we have Crazy Cat pushing into Oxy, so at least they're going to have some pressure. But Cats is here to help stall for his teammate, and then they're going to clean him up.
Yeah. And Omega is just entered offload. We'll find that there is no organ donation, We'll find that there's no RT there yet. Maybe he's trying to wait and see if the commander makes a mistake by not checking this RT position. Nope, just going to desist it on his own. 3-man pressure coming towards this tunnel, but there's already tons of PvE and the Gorge has done his work. Commander dropping some meds preemptively, hopefully trying to bait his team forward in order to pressure that Gorge. But Wraith is taking it nice and slow. Ooh, Solid Snake taking out, trying to build this extractor. And Omega thinks it's time to pressure the Hive. He might actually be able to put the aliens on the spawn queue here. Omega is a strong player, but does get taken out.
In the meantime, Nightmare has assisted Oxy and cut the assist chain, which will cause some panic. They're going to have to respond to this. But Infamous has dragged 2 Marine supply by sneaking past Marines, which is really good for them.
Yeah.
But because they have to clear this, they give up Baywing for this. So they're probably just going to run past this tunnel and try and desist waste.
And again, so much of the strategy is played out by the positioning. As we heard earlier, Gorge Spit kills a Marine there. But as we heard Ranger talking about earlier, the fact that there was a alien on backridge pulling 2 Marines out stifled that Marine pressure early game and caused this push in oxygenation possibly not to be as effective. But again, oxygenation was being pressured. Cutting the cis chain there, super important before that waste hive comes up. So lots of back and forth for both teams here. Nice clumping by this alien team. That crush went through without a problem, but oxygenation goes down behind this. Now the aliens on the Marine back res, trying to pressure as much as they can. And what are these Marines supposed to do when they're in Oxy after they desist it? They could have desisted all the way back to waste recycling, but instead they pull back and get wiped. Solid Snake.
Waste is fine because he assisted it. Desist.
Not quite as patient as he could have been. This RT and organ donation is finally being placed by the alien commander. This waste recycling RT is being pressured, though. They have to re-assist out towards waste, otherwise that will start taking damage. And it does. The alien commander must be out on the field because he's not paying attention to his res lane. Gorge Merez is back on this RT and will be able to heal it up without any problem until they resist in that direction. 3 lurks are now out for the alien team. as Omega and Merc try to pressure this tunnel. Once again, Merc taking a bite from behind, Omega taking Green Rex down to half, but neither of these Marines able to do any significant damage. Nightmare pressuring. Nightmare's been able to at least put on some pressure so far this game. He was the first one into Oxy, killing that node earlier. Crazy splitting his line of sight from Omega. But there is some significant damage being put on 2 RTs right now for the alien team. And Marines were on 4. They're down to 3 and about to be down to 2. So this is a crucial time.
So aliens have recognized there's no right side res, so they came to crush the entire left side. They should get all the RTs down, and Marines started at A3, which means they won't get another RT, so they really have to save the BC RT.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be close. Nightmare's going to be pressuring in just as this Lurk leaves. He thinks the Skulk will be enough to take down this RT, and it looks like Infamous might be able to get it. Very close as Dedek and Green Rex come flying back in. This Gorge will be able to heal up these Lurks as they spike from across the room. Dedek thinking about leaving. These 2 Marines are stuck here trying to protect this RT. It looks like the aliens are going to crush in trash ejection again. And they'll probably, now that they know the only other 2 Marines out on the map are stuck in supply lines, they have plenty of room to go and kill this repairs RT. Excellent decision making about where the Marines are going to be. Now forcing the Marines again to only have left side res. And here comes the alien clump. Back to EC. Only 1 Marine in there currently. Crazy Cat not going to be able to hold on for very long. It does get wiped. King Yo took about half damage, but the 3rd hive has now been dropped. And the Gorge is there already to heal both King Yo and build this hive, dropping a tunnel just as he gets into the room. This is good work by this Gorge player, who hasn't lost his Gorge this entire round yet.
So these Marines are going to get some pressure down the Oxy. I don't know if they want to even clear this at this point, because they have so many RTs. I think they just leave them there, and they go try and clear something else. Greenrex will solo it at least, which is fine. But they really wanted to kill supply here instead of clearing Oxy, probably.
Interesting stuff. I mean, that probably is the you know, when you have assets to trade, any trade in your favor can really bolster your team's positioning on the map. You have enough resources capped, and you have another resource possibly in electrical core as this hive is being built, where you can trade a few RTs, but they're playing a little bit greedier, perhaps, maybe a little bit safer, depending on the way you think about it, and holding on to everything, even having Gorge, the commander, Gorge up and heal this RT. Now, Marines are in a desperate position as they try to establish any res on the map that they possibly can. They're going to be able to go back up to 4 RTs possibly if Dedek is able to be defeated as he chomps on this RT. He is going to be able to kill supply lines as Merc barely rounds the corner. And now you can see there's 2 Lurks trying to finish off Merc and make sure that this fight is something that is going to be dominated by aliens. 3 Lurks. No life forms yet for the aliens have died, only Skulks. And it's interesting, we might have Infamous skipping Fade Res and going straight to Onos.
Yeah, so the reason he's doing this is there has been no Lurk death, and there hasn't really been a need for Fade, seeing as there's no shotguns up or any type of pressure that would require a Fade to clear. So he's gonna go straight to Onos. Also, when you're going faster, by going over, it'll help stop gates or clear gates when they eventually do get them, which they should.
Yeah, and Onos can just stick his body in front of a gate and make sure no Marines come through, and it's an incredibly powerful position to be in. Just having the life to spend in order to give your team some space, just sitting in front of the gate can really be destructive for this Marine team. And gates are just now being finished. They're going to have just barely enough to drop a base gate in a few res here. And then they're going to have to fight their way back into gravity. it is possible that they could drop a supply lines gate. They have 3 people in offload. And so they are in a position where they could go that way instead. Potentially even getting some foothold in skylights. But it is a little bit less standard, and they are moving now towards gravity. This would be a big win for the Marine team to be able to have a gate there. Meanwhile, Omega and Crazy Cat do end up taking the tunnel in Bay Wing. They quickly back up in order to help secure gravity, but this tunnel being taken out it's a small victory, but it is definitely a victory for this Marine team, who's in desperate need of some good engagement. Shotguns come out both at the same time. Pistols were out earlier. These lurks being cruel, bullying these Marines with spikes because the Marines overcommitted to shotguns. Sometimes it's better not to have a shotgun. If everybody on your team is a shotgun, these lurks, which have been so effective thus far, can really just take the back of the room and spike you down for quite a long time. Only 1 rifle on this Marine team. This is aggressive loadout for these Marines. If they're pressuring some position, they can definitely use shotguns to assault a hive. But to have so many shotguns and only 1 rifle can actually got them in trouble there.
Alright, so meanwhile, they do have 3 hives, and Contaminate is coming out on this gravity power move. I'm surprised it's not on base.
Interesting, though. This will be very aggressive for the alien team to have.
Command station under
And
attack.
now they finally have switched their targeting to docking, dropping contamination in the Marine base. This usually causes the Marine team to GG, which
Yeah.
here it is.
So it puts them on a timer. They have to kill a hive, or their base will eventually die.
Yeah. And Contaminate's not, it's higher tech we don't usually see come out for the alien team unless one team is sort of dominating. It's not always the case. We did see it the other day, but yeah, as soon as Contamination goes, it's really a fight, a desperate fight to try to kill a hive as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you just have to leave the game. Would you have liked to see anything different out of the tech path for these Marines? We see Armor 3 at 7 minutes, which is pretty quick, but only on Weapons 1. Weapons 1 was the weapons level at the end of the game. That bloom of shotguns that started happening at 9 minutes was right before the game was ended. Perhaps a level into Weapons 2 or some other upgrade might have been better.
I think you go A2 weapons 1 into gates and try and get map control, considering how far they fell behind early, and they do a supply gravity gate to at least deny a 3rd hive and try and eventually out-tech them and try and get some life form picks. The easiest way to get life form picks is usually on gate crushes.
Yeah. That's an interesting idea that I hadn't really considered, that gates are an asset for the Marines to hold, but they also cause the aliens to be grouped up trying to take an objective. Sometimes when you come through with shotguns through a gate, you have the opportunity to get a really close, up and close and personal with the aliens. And a lucky meat shot or a very well-placed meat shot can take a fade down real quick. Having 2 Marines phase through at once is a dangerous thing that you have to always be aware of. Also, when you're on a gate, you're not necessarily checking how much adrenaline you've saved up or where exactly that other Marine might have been who might be rotating in behind you. You've seen it a number of times where a fade trying to swipe down a gate ends up being killed from behind. Combination of Marines phasing through and getting attacked from behind can be very deadly. And that that Armor 3 upgrade, that's 40 res, which if you do the math, dropping an observatory and then upgrading to phase tech and then dropping to, well, it's actually 50 res altogether to establish gates on the map. But most of it is right there in that Armor 3 rather. Having that up just a little bit earlier maybe will net you a lifeform kill, which they so desperately needed last round.
Looks like this is a power build. Infamous got a good spawn, so he's not going to help on that, which will mean it will be probably 6 man on the field. A1 is started, and it will be up faster than normal. Looks like Infamous is just going to push up, not going to cap repairs. Lane for Kingyo to be able to cap it for free.
I'm sort of watching Infamous as he pushes past, and he's going straight for this Gorge and Oxy. He is snuck past these two aliens, kind of out-sneaking the alien team, which isn't usual for the Marine side, but is always very effective. He's going to be able to crouch walk all the way into Oxygenation, and almost for sure he's going to take this Gorge. They don't even really need a pressure into Oxy from the front side, as Infamous is about to come in and clutch this lifeform kill from behind. This is going to put on a ton of pressure, and you can see there's no Skulks around to respond, even if they knew he was there. The Skulks are scratching their head. They're so confused. The Gorge player is probably upset, saying, "Why didn't you warn me somebody had pushed through?" But they couldn't see it because he had effectively gotten to that vent before there's a time for anybody to respond. And this RT is dead. Great playing from Infamous. Really scary to see that kind of thinking, that kind of brain come out from the Marine team. It's going to put them in a huge lead just from the start. But Aliens do have the ability, I think, I don't know what you feel, I think it's more flexible in these early engagements than Marine typically are.
You definitely have more comeback potential early game as Aliens. But we see the packing isn't super coordinated here. They're going in one by one. They need to be counting down, going all together. They will be put down on one RT, which will cause Marines to think base rush is their only play, and they'll start laning really heavily, unless you show all your skulks like this.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, we see that kind of play happening again where Wraith was just there a little bit too early, and Omega is going to back off, knows that that engagement is not going to happen. Omega is a very experienced player on gathers, plays quite a bit. He's backing, Merc backing up, running back to the hive, and buying another set of eggs. That's 15 res in eggs so far, and another, so that's 20. This is a very desperate position for these aliens to be in. Oh, and they do end up clearing the Marines, but there's two more to deal with. Solid just waiting for this ambush, but I think it's time to pack tightly, and oh my god! They have to be really careful. They can't afford to buy another set of eggs. And the alien commander doesn't know that Infamous is right around the corner. This drifter is dead. Another painful loss. Usually a drifter kill isn't the end of the world, but with such a little amount of res left and only one RT, any kind of damage to your economy at this point is gonna be really hard to recover from. Ooh, Gorge in trouble. Is picked off by Infamous right away. Another painful blow to this alien team.
And they are effectively egg-locked. Nobody can get back in the hive right now. So as long as they watch that one egg, it's pretty much over.
Yeah. And just excellent play from this Marine team. It is a little bit, you know, it's hard to deal with such a one-sided start. But this can be, you know, it's just like there's a reset. Every time you change into a new round, every time you change into a new map, we have a moment for the for both teams to kind of reorganize their play and get ready to field again. But I think the story of that round really was in Infamous's incredible routing of that Gorge. I think that's a move I hadn't really seen people do before, maybe wasn't entirely aware of, but because of his advantageous spawn, because the aliens were more interested in setting up a little bit into Baywing than they were pushing forward into trash, this Infamous was able to get into this trash ejection chute vent and just totally go around all the alien life forms, pick that Gorge, and take an RT at the beginning of the round, which, you know, it's just going to be very difficult to recover from, no matter what team you're playing. Is that kind of maneuver something you were aware of or like to see?
So you're not supposed to be able to get into the trash bin unscouted.
Yeah.
Even with ideal spawns, the skulk should always be either. To see it, the problem is they played 2 there and they went through waste bailing instead of security to trash, which is the longer way, which allows that to happen. The second thing is why you normally don't have that happen on Marines is if a skulk ever gets into the trash bin and you're the solo capper and repairs that node is dead. And if Oxy doesn't pan out and you don't get that gorge pick, you're suddenly really far behind because you've lost your natural essentially off of that one play.
And there was only one person capping after Infamous had pushed forward, but the aliens didn't immediately identify that they didn't encounter anybody in trash ejection, but instead of this lighting up signal flares in their minds of like, oh, maybe it's time to pressure from this lane, or oh, they were just creeping around trying to find a pick in gravity, which I can totally sympathize with. It's not an easy decision to make, but yeah, I think those little just game knowledge moments are really really important, and yeah, so the vulnerability of doing that obviously is that you have less people holding the lane that your marine has pushed past, and you can see that on tram. There's an aggressive marine team will be able to push all the way into platform possibly, but it will be very important to see how the aliens respond to that.
Even as bad as it looked, Aliens still could have won. I think people forget you can slap a gorge tunnel up in a natural behind the 5 Marines that are in your base, and you can just go kill them.
Yeah, that's an
If
interesting.
one person snuck past, you could easily get a tunnel and just go base. But people forget about it.
Yeah. Since the change back to how gorge tunnels, sort of the new compromise that gorge tunnels have in comp, which is, I think, an excellent addition to the way the game works, you can now definitely get a gorge tunnel in behind Marines. And I feel like we've seen less cheeky gorge tunnel rushes than I would have expected in comp. And I don't know if it's still people adapting to the change or if it's more difficult than we imagine, but you don't really see it all that often. You did see an attempt at the end of the game between placeholders and eggs and concede last night, where a gorge tunnel was placed in order to rush a hive, but that was pretty late game, and you can do this. This tech is available to you right from the start of the game. So we'll see if any of the teams today or any of the rounds today take advantage of how different and how powerful gorge tunnels could possibly be. So, as a Marine team playing on Tram, some of the things I find that I struggle with as a commander on this map is I end up sort of trying to hold all 5 RTs in the beginning of the game, and I feel like I'm a little too cautious, and I lose this chance early game to put on a huge amount of pressure. How do you do that effectively on this map without sacrificing too much of your res lane?
Sorry, I just came back.
Oh,
What
it's
was the
fine. I was
question?
just wondering, some groups of players, some teams are able to put on a lot of pressure early on this map. I find one of my problems as a commander on this map is I'm too greedy about trying to get 5 RTs up, and I lose the ability to put on early pressure. It's also very easy to kind of hold a lot of the map. It's very hard to leak on this map if you have Marines in repair, in hub, in elevator. So I was wondering if you had any tips in order to kind of allow that map control, but also to put on some pressure. And how do you really think about doing that? What do you look
So
for?
for Marines, usually you look off your stars and you see what you can do off the packs. Usually you don't want to pressure both sides. You want to go for a force on whichever side you think is more important, which is typically the ET to mass side because there's more RTs on that lane. So you'd probably cap a fourth and repair with the people who go that lane, and then hub ET would pressure north and mez. Maybe one person from repair would rotate hub to north.
And then what do you think about pushing at the same time somebody into platform? Is that something that's viable, or are you leaving too much of your back res open at that point?
So that's something you usually want to do. Like you want high mez and more almost pressure,
Turn you up a
which
little
is something
bit.
people don't do enough.
Yeah. I'm missing a little bit of the start of this match to
Not
turn
missing
you up.
much. Com's just building the arms lab, 2 in hub, 1 repair, 1 ET. So far, nothing really happening.
Skulks have taken hub before Marines have pushed into it. Sometimes you can get a Marine if you have a nice spawn, almost all the way into hub. You can always get Skulks onto this top rafter that we see Infamous on, but occasionally you can push in a little bit quicker. Taking hub as Marines feels really strong because of how open the room is. And both of these Marines, although nobody's died, if you look over on the left side of the screen here, you can see every single Marine is parasited. So there's so much information happening for this alien team. They can rotate, they can move, they can drag Marines back and forth. Kingyo currently having 4 Marines focusing on him. Infamous able to set up this ambush excellently, but no tunnel yet. And they have given up mezzanine. So the Marines have a chance right now. Put on a lot of pressure. They're going to walk right into server room. If they're not careful, they're going to get flanked. Wraith doesn't even see it coming. But yeah. Omega taking a good fight, but he is verse 3 Skulks, so only able to take one of them out before he dies. And Solid almost finishing that RT, but doesn't quite. And this is probably going to go down before anybody's even going to nearly be in there to try to save it. We do have 2 Marines able to rotate in, but they're putting on pressure, skipping this hub lane completely. And
So that's exactly what you want to do. That node's dead. You want to at least create pressure so you can hold more RTs. Because this forces aliens to have to respond to this now, and it allows you to cap another RT.
And this little L-shaped or J-shaped hallway really does feel strong for Marines. Crazy not reloading at the same time as his ally.
They needed to cover each other.
Yeah, they really needed to be watching each other's feet there. It was so important to put on a little pressure there.
So they probably will never get a pressure wave again after this, because looks are gonna pop. Sure, he's poking at the mez tunnel, but imagine he gets like server and plat, then he's probably killing like at least 1 RT off this.
Yeah, if that plat push had survived, that pressure would have been much more significant on Mez. But unfortunately, those Marines both caught reloading at the same time and not particularly watching each other. I think Crazy was faced the other way from Wraith, and Wraith just got killed from behind. Kingyo walking past that first Marine, almost killing the second one, but he gets meted. This hive is now down. Only a Drifter building it, but a Gorge is right around the corner. He's healing up this warehouse tunnel. And it will be his job to build that hive. And now 1 lurk out for this alien team, probably with more to come. Kingyo also going lurk. Leaking through onto back res. There are 5 Marine RTs up right now versus 5 for the aliens as well. Schrodinger with an excellent flank. Again, a lot of times we've seen these Marine engagements go poorly. It's because the alien team has perfect information on the Marine team and able to establish these really dangerous flanks. Yeah, information is so important early game and throughout the entire game for aliens to really take the correct engagements. Okay. Aliens trying to crush an elevator, but there is 2 Marines and they have decent positioning. Nightmare caught reloading, and so does Merc as he tries to switch his pistol in order to put out some damage, but nobody's really hit, really. moment of panic as he tries to take some engagements. Omega doing his best to give his adopted team a fighting chance. I believe Omega is murking this morning.
He is indeed murking.
Yeah.
So now that you're getting packed, you don't cap a 5th anymore. You hold 4 and you try to either beat the pack or you try and out-pressure them to force the pack to come back. You essentially now have to start shooting against the pack and try and do better. Or you have to try and all-in and crush and try and ambush the pack with like 5 Marines when they're on RT.
Yeah.
Those are your only 2 solutions to it. You can't just keep losing RTs to it.
Yep. And it's one of those things that we've talked about in the past. It's incredibly important. It's actually better to hold 4 RTs than to constantly go between 4 and 5. And unfortunately, this pack is going to absolutely demolish this Marine
So
team.
if they have 6 on the right side, if you had a Marine, just run up the ore and 1 Marine runs straight up the platform off this, which they are doing now.
Oh, Merc trying instead. Now he gets the command from gets the word from maybe his commander to pressure. We do have 2 Marines finally putting on a little pressure at the same time. This is that out pressure that Ranger was just talking about. And 2 Marines are able to take these RTs down fairly quickly. But the aliens are willing to trade. Solid Snake trying to do damage to 2 RTs at the same time. Oh, if he could only have taken that fight against Kinyo, he would have been in a great position. But Kinyo, very strong lurk, and 3 shotguns come out to pressure this hive. 1 lurk almost going down. Shotguns are in a good position. We're going to take a third-person view as this engagement develops. Have to occasionally check on the map to see the positioning, but these Marines are able to take a Dedex lurk, which is a big victory for them.
So this hive is deadly in a second. I think they want to fight it still just to try and get some shotguns down there.
It's going to be hard for these Marines to hold on. They are pressuring these life forms out of there, though. They can recycle these guns if they're smart about it.
So while they get pushed out, it means that 2 Marines are going to have to come back here and pick these guns up. Oh, one's going to die.
Oh, just
barely
barely
saved
saving that shotgun. Yeah, but a gorge right around the corner. 2 more Marines will have to come in order to pick up those resources. Those Marines are sort of stuck cycling those shotguns. But, you know, if it takes a good engagement against some fades, it could end up paying off to recycle those guns. They're spending a little bit too much time there, though. And there's
So the
just
response
nobody.
to this is just to kill Logi.
Yeah.
You know they're stuck on that side, you just go and kill Logi.
And finally, another Marine coming up to try to pick up that shotgun. But it really puts them...
They're going to go base because they only saw 1 person go left side.
Yeah. And they were sort of stuck out of position, trying to retain the P-res that had been invested. And they don't even end up picking up that 4th shotgun. But it was a good attempt to try to keep a hold of some resources. It is one of the advantages that the Marine team has, is that they can retain some of their equipment, as long as it's a weapon. Kinyo pressuring crazy, but takes a decent meat shot and has to fly out of the room. Omega now fighting Schrodinger. Schrodinger respects Omega and backs out even before taking half. But the alien crush is on the Marine res lane, and 3 Marines are in repair. 1 shotgun and 1 rifle. It's a nice combination.
So here comes the crush. Fades are going to go in together.
Yeah, and
Just
unfortunately,
beautiful.
none of those shotgun shells really connected.
In those situations where you're getting packed, you want to try and kill what you can. So in that situation, you try and kill the Skulk and then maybe the Gorge. Because the Skulk is the red spider, not the Fades.
Yeah, I sometimes see players like Kinyo on the alien team. There are certain players, I think Shu, AD, Rant, where I've seen a lot of times that that quality of being able to pick a life form out of a pack and just focusing them during getting crushed. And I've seen Kinyo pull a lurk out of a fight like that. And that's just incredibly, you know... Oh, Nightmare getting a little bit ahead of himself. Merc not quite on his heels. But there's no way to know there was a Skulk hiding under the platform there. And that is going to be 3 shotguns down from the Marine team.
So at this point, they're really hurting. They have maybe one more round of guns, then they're out. And then they're going to be stuck fighting Vamp Fades with a Gorge on them for the rest of the game, which is really bad. They do have base tech though, which means they can try and get back in this game because arcs are really good.
Robotic assistance required.
Yeah, if you look
But yeah,
at
they're just going to crush Logi.
Yeah. If you look at the resource graph, you can see that the aliens, although there's a little dip in the middle, for most of the game they're able to hold on to so much res. And their team resources are pretty significantly higher. Sarchi does go down, but the alien pack is able to take an aggressive position in a new hive in repair room. The Marines are just now rebuilding their 3rd extractor. Team kills are just absolutely skyrocketing. The split between those two teams is pretty significant. And you do expect that in the mid game that aliens will start really rising in team kills compared to the Marines, because that's when they have life forms up. But again, we have a game where no life forms have really been killed by this Marine team. These lurks are the original set of lurks from the game earlier, and by now they can re-lurk. Two Marines trying to hold on to this pressure. Another gun goes down for the Marine team, and now we have 0 shotguns available for these Marines.
But here comes the danger. They were on the wrong side, so they could get this Logi gate and stop the 3rd hive potentially. Unfortunately, they don't have shotguns, like I said. They're out of shotguns now.
Yeah, and that's it's one of these occasions where I think less can be more. 1 shotgun with a rifle is probably better than 2 shotguns in a lot of engagements. They're of course against fades, or any time that that aliens really are committing to pushing a position or trying to defend one. Then you want shotguns. But if the aliens can, have the lurks from the beginning of the game and they can sit across the room and spike you down, it'd be a lot better to have 1 or 2 shotguns than all 5. And you lose the ability to buy shotguns later in the round if you overbuy them early. Oh, Kinyo, finally a life form does go down. Merc lasering Kinyo as he comes around the corner, trying to squeeze around the side of that fade. But that fade isn't able to egress out of that room. Solid Snake bringing Cats down very low, basically black barring Cats. A few little bright points in an otherwise pretty difficult game for this Marine team. But here we see a 3rd RT being established and Marine pressure sort of being effective. At least they're on their res lane. That means the pressure is gonna have to come out for these aliens. But we have 3 hives.
They're gonna go base.
We're pretty close to
Here we go. They're all off, and here comes the beacon again. So they're just constantly reset off the map. And all aliens have to do is they're playing a time game. They're just stalling for contaminate.
Yeah. With 3 hives and biomass being upgraded, it's only a matter of time before that timer is started again, that contaminate timer that demands you to either push a hive or leave the game. Omega taking a decent fight. Nightmare behind him pumps 1 shotgun shell into Green Rex, but he's able to walk out. Only about half damage being taken. Kinyo as well, about half health. He's going to sit in this vent and make it his home for a little while. Doesn't want to leave and get caught by this Marine in mezzanine. This is a situation we see lurks kind of get stuck in a lot, but Kinyo thinking about going back in. Yeah, Kinyo sitting in the back, spiking these Marines. Oh, Pile coming into the base causes an over-rotation by these Marines. Now there's only one Marine on the gate, but they are basically just jumping back and forth between gates at this point. We used to see some PvEs and some clogs being thrown down by this Gorge player. Hopefully he doesn't get his Fade stuck. Almost does for a second. And take a Fade's point of view. We watch them slice and dice these Marines.
All aliens are following them around almost 3 times, which they're doing really well.
Yeah,
They did
nobody in
lose
the
the ET
chair.
gate, and then Cameron's like 30 seconds out, and they're spawn locked in the base.
Yeah, that's game. I think that'll be it for our best of 5. Placeholder taking 3 rounds against 0 from Phase with Shades. But Phase with Shades putting out a good game and putting out a good game in chat as well. That being very gracious. They know that this team is super, super competitive, and they're just happy to be fielding a team that can go up against them. There were some moments there for several of the players that looked pretty good, but Infamous's team has a ton of experience, and it really shows. They made it hard for that Marine team to really do anything. I think we'll be switching servers from London to NYC in just a second. That is, if the documentation is to be believed. I think both of these next teams are gonna be playing there. So Infamous's team will have a little bit of a lag disadvantage, at least on this first round. I'm not sure if we plan halfway through, if the games go to a certain number, to switch to an EU server, but some of these players are going to be lagging a little bit more, but it shouldn't be too significant. I think they're going to be able to join in about 150 thereabouts. And we do see players slowly leaving the server. I do believe we're switching. I will go ping Golden, make sure he's ready, because the game is done. Let's see. Golden. And what do you think? I'm not sure how often you've been in this position, and we do seem to have some of the other players from the next round joining this server. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to stick to NYC or switch to London.
I'm surprised they're not playing NYC. Because that's what's on the caster thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Loam has had some issues with his internet this morning, so maybe some of the administrative stuff is a little bit. Oh, well,
I was
here's
originally
Loam.
supposed to play for Loam if his internet didn't come back.
Yeah, we would have loved to see you play, but we're glad to have your to have that in-depth level of analysis. I think especially with the sort of when it's good to rotate, sort of higher level analysis. You've got some great points to share with everybody. We're just getting ready for the finals now as the teams are establishing which maps and which sides they're playing on. Loma and Infamous discussing how they want to play. And, we had one game between these two teams go 50 minutes yesterday. And it should be pretty interesting to see how games evolve today. If there are gambits to make the game shorter or if they're all going to go long. But it'll be interesting. And let's say you're playing a gather and you generally think that your team is maybe a little bit less mechanically inclined as the other. Are there sort of things you can do to mitigate that strategically?
Yes, I've won so many gathers where I'm down mechanically, well, practically every game, I guess, because I'm first pick calm.
And what are the things you're thinking about to kind of change the way you play in order to facilitate players that maybe don't shoot quite as well as the other team?
So those types of players, maybe it doesn't matter how high they shoot. If they're in the right place, you can get them to be in right positions where even though they say shoot 20%, because if you put them in like a good room, it doesn't matter. They shoot 20%, the skulk will die.
Yeah.
So positioning your team, getting them to rotate and take fights together, or maybe you'll have them cap or play safe or crouch around a corner and bait an RT. Those are all things you can do. In terms of aliens, you can put them on gorge, or you can try and set them up with ambushes.
Yeah. It just goes to show you how important it is, regardless if you're the players that maybe a little bit more mechanically inclined, or you're the team that's, a little bit behind in how much time they've spent in Kovacs. Positioning is super important, and is definitely the main way strategy is played out in this game.
I'm
So,
surprised by the Unearthed ban. I get the Veil ban and the Descend Summit bans.
yeah, you think you like Unearthed for these teams, one or the other?
I think they don't have experience on them, but I think it could have been a fine map compared to. I'm surprised they wouldn't ban something like Mineral, which placeholders probably have a better time on maps like that.
Yeah, we saw a mineral round yesterday. I believe it was mineral when I tuned in, and it was almost 50 minutes into the game. It was a really competitive round. Um, Might have been on Jumbo, but one of the rounds they played yesterday was mineral, and it seemed pretty good. Both teams kind of understanding how to hold on to their res on that map.
I think mechanically speaking, placeholders is slightly behind. So I think they're going to be going for map picks where they can utilize strategies or turtling to guarantee picking maps like Mineral and Tram where you should probably go 1-1 is within probably their ideal.
Yeah, one maps that are perhaps maybe a little bit more marine sided or a little bit more alien sided to give you that boost in order to just establish yourself on that scoreboard. It seems to be an idea. I like the plausibility of that seems pretty high. Although we are starting on a fairly standard map with Tram.
Tram's pretty marine sided most of the time.
Yeah.
Like all they have to do is survive the early game. It won't look like how last game did probably. Since both teams are similar in mechanical skill, you'll see a lot more team play and packing. And placeholders are pretty good at working together and rotating.
Yeah, placeholders, a lot of really strong players. Very excited to see them play again today.
Things to look out for are when lurks come up and the pack play starts, because that will tell both rounds. Like, if you get like a really strong alien packing going, then it's probably going to be alien win. But if like the pack doesn't work and Marines start picking off like lurks, or if they start out pressuring and trading better, then a Marine win will probably happen as they get towards the late game. He wants you to accept the friend request so he
Yeah,
can give you the password.
I will.
Okay.
Of course, I should probably switch it so you don't see that on stream. Oh yeah, we're not looking at my camera now. So, fortunately, I think if he does it over Steam, it will show up. He should do it over to. Let me make sure he wasn't talking about Discord. How do you friend somebody on this? Oh, he is already my friend. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's see. And I'll send it to you as well, Ranger, in case you haven't.
I got it. He gave it to me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Lum knows what he's doing. Right on. So we'll just be starting as soon as these teams are both in the game, getting started. Doggo has just joined for Eggs and Concede. Did you, I don't know if you saw from yesterday, but, Pecan Sam had 71% med accuracy and like 90% efficiency. That's pretty good for a commander, don't you think?
He's owning, dude. I don't even med that high.
Yeah, that's crazy. We'll see if he's able to put up those same numbers today, but yeah, 71% med accuracy is just, with the way that meds work now, it's very impressive. We hope to see more of that today.
I don't even know how you get that high, because if you med perfectly, you can't get that high.
Yeah, because to med perfectly, you do occasionally have to drop meds on the ground. Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
So there's a pickup delay. So if you med a marine instantly, you kind of have to time it right now, and it's even hard for me to do it. So if you mess up that pickup delay time, it's going to be on the ground, the med pack. I think it's 0.55 milliseconds. So like you have to med once, then wait a second, then med again. Otherwise it'll go on the floor.
It's also sometimes good to have the med right underneath the Marine's feet, if that's possible, so that he picks it up as soon as he takes damage. Sometimes dropping a med a quarter second, or less, but before the bite has landed, can actually give you a little bit of an advantage. So sometimes it's,
I generally don't do that.
Yeah.
For me, I just med the second I know they're about to be bit, but that's because I practiced it so much.
Yeah, and I try to do that as well, but it's not going to be a huge disadvantage to do that. And sometimes it can feel appropriate. Doggo,
yeah,
just barely available. Almost, looks like he was just jumping onto his computer. He's a little slow to get on the map. Aliens.
Oh, this is interesting. They're going to leave repair open.
Yeah.
And they let Infamous get in the Doggo spot in South Tunnels.
Nice. Yeah,
Loam's not going to check it.
Oh, wow. I've never
and then Yams gets spared, and here comes Infamous. This is perfect setup. Look at this. 2 huge early picks for placeholder. This is going to slow down the Marine pressure, and they're going to late cap their naturals, too, because it's only 1 Marine on both.
Yeah,
and it forces Golden to hop out the observation window to hold South Tunnels.
Golden now trying to outthink the aliens. Does find Kinyo, but almost dies. Only 1 parasite away from going down. There is a Marine commander in the chair, but so far not electing. Infamous looking for Golden, almost for sure, knowing that he is on one. Parasite does take him out. It's fun to see.
Owned.
Lots of PV.
Yams is gonna have to back up here. There's no way he can take this against the Gorgeous Two Skulks.
And a
Here
whip.
we go. Here's the crush.
This alien team in placeholders looking so tight with their coordination. Pecan being snuck up upon, sending these Marines plummeting back into the spawn queue. One IP only to start out this game.
But look at Wee. He snuck himself in the North Tunnel. He's going to get a pick, and now it's going to start looking good for Marines.
Is that who Keith is? I was wondering.
Yeah, that's Wee.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Infamous trying to bait out that reload, doesn't quite get it. Wee with such high accuracy. Golden rifle butting Kinyo.
Look at that positioning, though. They hold both sides of North Tunnels, so they can crossfire themselves. Golden does eventually get picked, but look at Wee. He's going to push the Skulk out, and he's going to start running the sys chain to server.
Yeah, he's not overly
And then he's going to catch Miras.
Not overly committed to shooting that RT. Sometimes you can see people getting in a little bit of trouble there, not actually hitting those shots on. Oh, the warehouse tunnel was so close. It goes tempting to shoot that warehouse tunnel, but it might have been better to try to take the life forms as they came out. Only, 13% life on that tunnel, though. Really, really tempting to fully commit on that, which they ended up doing.
That could have turned really bad for placeholders really fast, but they held everything somehow.
Yeah, there is some damage. It is not necessarily permanent as long as Merez actually heals these structures. But yeah, it looks like Golden is going to be able to get back up into that crucial position.
This might be a dead lurk egg.
Oh my god,
Golden knows the timing. Oh, just slightly too late.
And he's going to be disappointed because for sure that's what he was looking for. Golden, one of those players who is counting when and what, the timing for those lurk eggs to pop. It's really close to finding that lurk. Such intelligent players on both sides. This game staying very competitive. All right, Golden now waiting for a little backup. Oh, this lurk is able to clean up. Pecan doesn't quite get the gorge. Not enough damage being put out against the life forms or the gorge.
They really need to kill the gorge here.
Yeah.
Wee and Daga are in a setup where they could have rotated into this. Surprisingly, they did not.
Wow. They do take the tunnel. Gorge never ended up healing it. That's a little bit of a mistake from Merez. Wouldn't be a huge effort to redrop it. 3 lurks, a gorge, and a skull out on the field for this alien team. With cats in the hive still.
So the pack's about to switch sides to repair. This is why you don't want to cap EP. You want to go pressure this. Ooh,
Yeah,
Kinyo can die here with the Wee rotate. He can laser him. He's stuck in between Loam and Wee.
Dang. Smart
If
play.
Yam's cleared there, came there, I think he dies.
Yeah. Wee,
But again, Wee's in North Tunnels.
back on his one-man pressure crusade. Let's take his perspective. Oh, absolutely lighting that lurk up, but the lurk does get out. Yams taking the solo fight against Kinyo. Both players respecting each other. Now there's 2 lurks, though, and that server hive just being dropped behind this. Doggo is there, though. You have to respect Doggo as Kinyo goes down, just blackbarred, almost completely killed. 8% life on that lurk as he barely makes it back to his gorge. Georgian
I
trying
think this
to...
is insanely greedy by them. Trying to go for the observation node and then ET. Because if they ever rotate or lose that fight, then they get no RTs.
Yeah, well, they're gonna maybe get both now.
The greed may pay off here.
Loam able to take down ore processing on his own. But this RT is going to go down. Oh, maybe not. Infamous, only life form to stick on that RT, and they don't take it. Just barely holding on to that res node. Safer play would have yielded the same results of only taking one res node out. But it is important to split these Marines. Some stuck on the back line trying to recap as three lurks goes in to clean up this RT in elevator. And behind this 3 lurk pressure, 1 Skulk gets in. Wee is not long for this world. Oh, almost taking out Kingyo. Is getting meted, but is not able to connect those last pistol shots with that lurk as it flies out of the room with just a little bit of health left on its life bar. So close to clutching that fight. Did receive a lot of meds from Pecan, but again, you hardly even noticed because not a single one was missed. Loam looks like he's lagging pretty badly still. There's a lot of hitching right there as he tried to jump away from those life forms. I don't know if he's still having internet connectivity issues. But gates are about to come up. Weapons 2 is finished. Armor 2 is finished. But fades are just around the corner. This is a crucial timing to get these shotguns out, and they are starting. Phase tech, all the Marine tech is coming out just barely in time. See a race between the upgrades of the metabolized versus shotguns. Metabolized fade versus shotguns. Here it comes. That is a full crush with one of the fade players just around the corner. They do see this Schrodinger move forward there because of that scan, and then he backs off. The hold crush is now on the other side of the field. The pack is going to be able to slice these Marines apart, but Doggo is in a nice position. Very scary from this Marine player. If only he wasn't parasited, that probably would have lent to a kill on Doggo's behalf. But Yams is going to solo Marine. He's going to be able to protect this res node very easily. Schrodinger, though, does get off a parasite before that engagement is over. Now a repair room gate coming up. This is just going to be able to give them a foothold somewhere on the map and give them someplace to put pressure on. We might see them getting a second gate, but where would you put it?
This is because they feel so behind. They're going to cap repair. And it's either going to be a hub gate if they feel comfortable after holding 4 RTs, or it's going to be an ET ops gate, and they're going to go into full try and out-tech the aliens.
Yeah, I think I like that from this Marine team. I don't think they're that far behind. Oh, but they have lost a lot of res. No big lifeform kills yet. Placeholders is just absolutely playing out of their mind right now. Wee is on the other side of this fight, though, maybe able to kill one of these lurks. Oh,
everything's
so close.
like 1
Does
HP.
Actually killed Dedak. Almost kills in the gorge as well. Putting everything on that black bar.
Well, this is what I meant by going deep on gates. This is how they come back into the game.
Yeah. Most of the aliens were focused on killing that gate. Wee comes in from behind. Even though the life forms he picked off weren't necessarily on the gate at the moment, just having their focus so much on this Marine asset instead of on players allows Wee to... Wow, Kingyo also pinched. Gonna go down to Doggo.
Katz is pinching observation in the meantime. Gonna lose his comm lurk, but they will make an attempt for this repair gate, knowing that a lot of people are off this gate. Marines are gonna have to give this gate up. Looks like an ET gate will be dropped instead.
Yeah. Doggo looking for a pick or two. Wow, Pecan coming through, but Marines generally being very patient there. It's gonna put a ton of pressure on their res lane. But the other gate has been established. Marines have a foothold on this map, not wiped out completely. Advanced Meta and Umbra coming down the pipeline for this alien team. These are pretty late game techs, and it's incumbent on the Marines to try to hold this 5th RT to try to catch back up into this game. Putting some pressure. At one point, the whip did go down. This is a new whip being built, but it's probably going to go down before these Marines are able to be pushed off. The alien team focusing on the... Oh, well, no, here comes the crush. Whoop. Yams
Infamous
taking.
would have died if he kept going.
Yeah. Infamous smartly backing up. Commander putting out a scan to make sure that these life forms have indeed left. A new tunnel being established in the repair room, giving the aliens a strong position. But they lose mezzanine behind this, and there's nobody building this RT in repair quite yet. Yam's very low. Pecan actually finally missing a med. We picking
So
up
they
that
will
shot.
deny repair with this Logi gate that's about to go up. They still have plenty of P-res, and they haven't lost the shotgun yet.
And this Logi gate just a modicum more reserved in the positioning. A little bit safer. They are
And you
gonna,
dropped a shift here without anyone scouting this, so you just lost a lot of T-res for this.
yeah, losing a shift down here, and ooh,
That
Tedek
excited
dying,
in hub.
dying on the.
He got
in the
pinched
middle
by
of the map.
Golden. So now it's kind of looking dire for aliens. They have one fade, one lurk. Sure, people can re-life form here, but it gives Marines a breathing room from the non-stop pressure that was happening and allows them to start doing their own pressure.
Well, Umbra has finally finished for this one remaining lurk player, and only now has Leap been started. So choosing higher tech over Leap, I think you can deny Leap without being punished much. Especially if you're able to hold on to your life points as long as this alien team was able to. Now, aliens down to 4 RTs to the Marines 4, but possibly about to skyrocket up to 5, possibly even 6. Doggo getting solo killed by Dedek. Dedek, an incredibly strong player, and the shotgunner inside of Mezzanine just died. Yams gets taken out by this lifeform crush. Doggo's the only thing between these lifeforms and this gate. The Skulk almost goes down, but the alien team able to finish all the Marines as they slowly pour through. 2 more get through and do push off the lifeforms, but 1 Skulk remains. Doggo able to clutch that last Skulk. It's a very tight game all of a sudden. It would be really important for the aliens. Oh, able to kill that shotgunner. So Keith right around the corner. We gonna grab that shotgun. But they circle around and threaten the Marine back res. We doesn't respond, waits for Golden. Golden, though, Dedek was ready for him. And now the Marines taking a ton of pressure. Losing a gate possibly behind this. Yams, though, with a shotgun. These meds are so important to have made happen there. Losing a lot of mez potential, or med potential, I suppose. The pressure is so severe from this alien team, the Marines hardly have enough time to go back to their back res and recap, even though they have these sort of defensive gates. Doggo now. Good movement from Doggo. Doggo always a player that you have to respect, but Infamous boxes him out.
So some crucial mistakes on Marines is not having enough shotguns on gates. They have a lot of P-res, but you see a lot of people just running around with rifles. They need to start stacking rifle and shotguns together.
Yeah. And I think their team is much, much more careful about the pacing of getting these shotguns out onto the field. And I think that will end up paying off in the long run. Golden does take out that lurk as he was flying into the vent, and then quickly swaps to the Skulk at his heels, able to kill both those life forms. Now we see Max on the back line trying to recap for these Marines. It's going to be an excellent way to free up some bodies in order to put pressure on. This gate now in jeopardy as Golden comes through. We're going to take his perspective. 1 Skulk has leaked through the observation or the logistics vent, but we'll see if he's able to take anything out. He is in logistics, hitting as in the same. Similarly, observation is being hit. Aliens being so good, even with these defensive gates, being so good about taking out Marine back res. So these
Yeah,
gates,
with these 2 gates, you should never lose an RT.
Yeah.
And then you want to try and tech up and get 4 arcs and win. But they've been too focused on pressuring that they suddenly lost all their back res. And now they're going to be starting to get stuck in this ping pong position where they're ping pong between gates. Aliens are gonna have an Ono soon. Advanced swipe is started. This ET gate will not die probably.
Oh god, it was so
All they
close
need to do is
though.
get out.
That was a tough
But
call.
look how much res is spent by Marines and how much panic is going on there. They are nowhere on the alien side. Alien's gonna cap back up to 5. Advanced swipes almost up.
Yeah. Like you were saying earlier,
They're just stalling for an onus.
whole
That's all they're doing.
The whole point of this gate configuration was to safely hold 5 RTs, to slow down their pressure just a little bit and make sure their economy is very robust. They had sent the aliens down briefly to 4 RTs. Lone taking some nice shotgun shots, forcing these aliens out of the room. They're off gates, however, just for the moment, and Merez might leak into logistics. Is going to be spotted by this commander's ob placement, looking for a res node in observation, but not going to find one. Oh, Green Rex dying on the top of the map. Loam taking out Green Rex, almost taking out Infamous, just barely able to leave that room alive. Doggo now putting on the pressure, trying to push these skulks out of the room and cement a Marine foothold in this part of the map. But here comes Infamous, able to hold on to that shotgun, Doggo is. And Infamous ducking around this column, just trying to stretch the time out that it takes for this Marine pressure to be effective. Maybe looking for some backup, able to kill Marines behind the forward momentum of this Marine team. Now the Marines are going to have to be sucked back to this gate. Golden right around the corner, able to pick the skull. This Fade is probably not going to be quick enough to kill that gate before the Marines are able to reinforce. Now the Marines finally going up to 5 RTs. Their plan maybe finally coming as written. Doggo pressuring.
The goal around this is to have 4 arcs before they have an Onos, but that's not the case. They have 3 arcs right now. He's probably going to make a 4th after this hub gate. And then he's going to walk them up. But by that time, they have 2 Onos. And yeah, I can't see this working.
Yeah.
They probably have a Comm Gorge ready.
The only thing that's going to this Marine team's favor right now is there's no Bile Bomb, and these arcs haven't been spotted. But there are 2 Onoses out, count them 2, as they pressure this hub gate, or this, logistics gate. Luckily, hub was just established, but unfortunately for the Marines, they were a little hasty about getting rid of that 3rd gate inside of observation. It was probably the right move at the time, but now the Alien Crush is really wiping Marine pressure off of this map. Golden in a smart position where Onoses can't quite reach him. Infamous getting pushed out of the room. Just 2 Marines against 2 Onos and 2 other life forms, able to push them out of the room though because of their smart positioning. Taking this vent makes it so these Onos cannot hit you. And similarly, Golden has been behind this kind of scaffolding and really understanding how to play the map.
But again, there's no Bile Bomb. These arcs haven't been spotted. Wait, is this only 3?
It's only 3.
Yeah, this isn't going to work. It doesn't matter. They don't have Bile.
Yeah, there's no Bile out yet. And nobody...
There we go. They're going to attempt a hub crush. Looks like Kinyo is a bit late to this, but the PvE has been walked up to Mez. Cats should walk this in with the Onos, and they will surely be able to do something here in hub with 2 Onos. Umbra, full PvE. Looks like they're going to leave instead, surprisingly. Definitely feels like they should win this engagement. Infamous soloing 2 Marines and showing that they can win this.
I'm still not sure they know about these arcs.
There's no way they know.
Well, they have a chance to
Bile
scout
Bomb
them
has
now.
started. They're gonna beacon for response, but it's too little, too late. This hub gate is dead. Their arcs are dead. Aliens have every life form in the game.
Yikes.
Placeholders, they're gonna win the first round, it seems like.
Yeah, that's a very difficult position to come back from. 45 T-Res for this Marine team, thrown away in these arcs, not even once being able to turn themselves into the siege position. The Marine team Alien team feeling so confident that this PvE is actually being pushed into the center of hub.
They have Umbra and Spores, so you can just infinitely Umbra and Spore the hallway.
Marines reestablishing this gate. Logistics. Oh boy. Tough game for these Marines to come back from. Ono's pressured out of the room, but there's a second one right behind him, taking turns being the frontliner. It's going to be really tough for these Marines to ever do anything about it. Dako, though, taking an interesting position again in this vent. Point blank misses an shot on Infamous. I'm sure he's yelling about registration right there.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
So this PV is so strong here in Hub. I don't think he's adrenaline rushing when I'm watching him. He could have been healing the Waji gate from where that was if he did adrenaline rush it.
Yeah, I think not a lot of players or commanders really aware of the adrenaline rush upgrade. Although you have done some evangelism for this kind of for this upgrade, I'm not sure how many players really know about how to use it.
Unfortunately, they don't even know I talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Takes a little bit of time for these teams to have been playing this game for so long to fully adapt to the new upgrade. It is just, in case you guys don't know, in comp mod, this is actually our boy Ranger's idea. There is a shift upgrade that increases the rate of fire of other PvE structures. So in the case of a Crag, you could use it, and that's GG, just finishing up this thought. You could use it to upgrade increase the rate of healing that comes out of a Crag. So it would pump the heal waves out of the Crag slightly faster. But it doesn't matter, because this alien team is able to win the game.
The more important fact about it is it increases the range of healing by
dude.
25%. So where he had it, and what I meant by the Logi gate is it would increase the range to hit the Logi gate from that position, allowing them to heal on it.
Yeah, I didn't know it had that added aspect, but this is a rather new thing. It's been in the game for a couple of months now, but not a lot of people are aware about it. It's a great way to add a little bit more utility into one of these PvE structures, giving the alien commander yet another thing to think about.
So analyzing that game, Marines, like I said, the second the pack came up, they didn't do either of the two. They didn't try and group up and collapse on this pack. And they also didn't try and trade RTs effectively against it. So they ended up where aliens just packed to both sides. And then they're just so far behind at that point in the game where it becomes almost impossible to win from there. Unless they play perfectly from there.
And you taking a look at this RT graph, there's one thing that you notice. Every single time Marines go up to 5 RTs, they go straight back down to 4. Almost thinking that it could be a better idea not to get that 5th RT. I know they thought their gates would be defensive enough to be able to hold that resource, but it's one of those occasions where maybe 4 RTs would have been better. Definitely 80% of these 5th RTs are not paying for themselves if you look at this res graph. Now, of course, it could be one of the other res nodes that gets killed, but just the idea of being able to hold on to 4 a little bit easier than 5, definitely possible. And this kill graph also has something to say about this game. the Marines absolutely flatlining about 17 minutes into this game. Not a single kill for the last 5 minutes or so.
You look at the accuracies, you see like almost everyone on Marine shoot really well, but they weren't able to turn into kills. Like, they weren't rotating properly, I feel like, in some of these engagements, and they didn't have enough shotguns to actually make kills.
Yeah. Once those gates came out, they had an opportunity to commit a little bit more to shotguns than they did. Pecan not putting up the same numbers. This is fairly average for a commander and totally acceptable. 50%, 55% accuracy, 75% efficiency. But compared to that last game the previous night, it's not quite as staggeringly impressive. As we get ready for the sides to switch, we're just taking a quick look at the difference in tech path. One interesting thing is that Umber was started before Leap, and Weapons 3 was not Armor 3 was preferred over Weapons 3. So it's interesting things to. It's probably a response to. That's probably a response to Swipe, Advanced Swipe coming out. Waiting now for Doggo. He's had a small crash. Rejoining the server, hopefully, very quickly. Oh, here he is. Maybe never quite left.
I think he was just AFK and his team readied without him.
Yeah. I'm sure they're excited to get into the second round of this game. Placeholders putting up an incredible first round. So strong from this Marine team, or Alien team on the previous match. Let's see if they have the same kind of infamous in that perfect position. Again, sort of winning the Doggo almost just a little bit slow.
Dude,
out
Doggo's just griefing.
Yeah, I think he's got his cereal next to his bowl, next to his computer, trying to eat a bite of food or something. Sort of what it seems like, although I doubt that's actually the case. Marine slow to push out. Interesting, very safe, very slow. Loam gets a pick. Med's even being dropped.
But Doggo snuck up here in Logi. I don't think they know about him. He's gonna pick Green Rex.
Incredible.
Oh, he got meted. He picked up the med pack just in time as he got double bit. And Doggo's not gonna turn that into a kill?
Still, dropping 3 or 4 meds in that first engagement, it's something to consider, slowing down that 4th RT just a little bit. Although they do have enough res to drop it now. Medding, I sort of tend to try to hold meds for the first couple of minutes of the game.
It does put them behind with Cats not dropping a 4th, means they're probably going to white cap a 4th while Aliens are about to cap to 4. Good clear on Cats.
But it does put them
They
back
do
in
have
the chair.
pressure in ore, though.
Somebody else jumps in just a little bit before Cats respawns and drops into this hive, or getting pressure but quickly cleaned up. We see a more defensive server room tunnel.
I'm very surprised they didn't go for a mouse tunnel here.
Yeah.
But I guess they want to try and be safe.
Maybe it's so they can quicker respond to this pressure possibly coming into north tunnels. Golden and we pushing together. Golden landing 1 spit. Early game, that's incredibly important. Golden now, though, on his own, landing 2 spits, landing 3 spits. It has to be meted, and he's only done a tiny bit of damage against Golden. I think he's sort of holding his clip for
Hit
a
another
skull.
spit. 5, 6.
Uh-oh, now Golden's a lot of trouble, though.
Nah, he's out of there. Okay, maybe not. He's staying in for some reason. So at this point, you want to probably sack platform, I say, and try and group up for a clear on this server Marine, rather than attempt to fight this.
Yeah. 2 Marines jammed up into the back of platform. 1 Marine already shooting the tunnel in server room. This is looking pretty strong. Oh, Doggo, as soon as lurks are out, takes a half of his HP bar, but has Golden's Gorge right behind him. Now, this is a good position for Aliens to be in. We coming from behind. This is going to be an easy crush for this Alien team. Marines sent all the way back to base, not yet establishing a 4th res node, but only having... not lost any is also important. Doggo commits.
Doggo almost goes down. Meanwhile, Yams did kill ET, and I think he got a little bit of damage on Logi. He should have called these 2 Marines out on repair.
Oh, I didn't even see the ET being capped behind that forward pressure.
I got capped and died.
Yeah.
We, with a great ambush, gonna pick off Kingyo. That's 1 Marine and ET, and if he touches this node and there were 2 lurks on the correct side, which usually they're on ET.
Ooh, Doggo kind of not noticing Dedek, just entirely just running in circles. Maybe he did notice that Marine and just wanted to absorb the fire and the focus of these Marines, giving... Oh, Yams! Whoa,
Uh-oh,
Jesus.
Yams egging almost next to Infamous. Could have been extremely bad there.
Yeah.
He's gonna stall for Doggo. Doggo gonna take Legion, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, he took Vamp even though he's low, and he's gonna go in.
Yeah, that's
What
a
a
very
madman.
Doggo thing to do. I'm not sure he was entirely aware that there was still a lurk in that vent. Maybe he thought Doggo had already gotten out.
But notice how different the packing is on Aliens. Look at this. Marines have 5 RTs, and they're actually being the ones pressured. Aliens are struggling to pack down RTs.
Yeah. Marines able to hold their whole res lane and put on pressure. This is the kind of thing that kind of bends and breaks my mind. I don't even really know how to do this sometimes. Occasionally you just have players that find the right positions, take the right engagements, and are able to implement this for you. But the idea of trying to hold this whole map and do everything all at once, just like sometimes I just don't know how to implement it.
So what's happening here is they're just not working together. Like, the communication doesn't seem to be quite there as placeholders was. They're not leaking a skulk through on back res. They're not packing to get skulks through on back res. And now they're just really struggling. Both skulks are going to die in repair. It doesn't even matter if they win this engagement.
It's going to send Yams flying back to the hive, and a lot of aliens on the spawn queue. This hive now finally just being finished in server room. The aliens stuck on 3 RTs. Doggo now will take his perspective as he does stick in this fight for a long time, but Doggo able to clear it with Yam's help and the Gorge just right around the corner. These Lurch are going to be able to fly forward and hopefully find some aggressive positioning. Finally, aliens finding some way to get on Marine back res, but Marines capping ore processing.
But they're so behind. They capped ore, and now Infamous is in plat unscouted, and they can't trade this far behind. You cannot trade right now.
Yeah.
This is really bad for them.
It doesn't matter if these engagements are won. Like,
look at this scan. They know where everyone is. Kinyo's going to go into the base and start finding some upgrades. Golden even lost his scores, which is really bad for them, which means they can't really sustain observation. Lum, however, is messing around on Logi to stall this.
Able to clear the hive, but this third RT is going to go down. Possibly 2 RTs going down for the Marines, as one, but only 1 alien RT going down. But the aliens have less to trade, and they're fighting from a very negative position. They're in the red compared to this Marine team, and so every engagement that goes the way of these this Marine team is going to compound.
And they're doing exactly what they want to be doing with this lead. They're going to try and slap up a gate and continue this map control that they currently have. Green Rex going to crouch around and hopefully find Golden here.
Green Rex going to have to reload.
But Golden's just so good. Going to keep himself alive so he can bite that repair RT. And now things are looking good for Aliens. Going to finally kill Ore and repair, but is it too little, too late?
The res damage finally coming together for this alien team, but Marines are still pressuring.
Look at this Doggo almost dead in repair.
Yams going in against Mirin and Dedek.
Gonna be pushed out. One of them should have went back to ET to save it.
They might get Logi, only just barely able to hold it. They're not going to shoot this RT. Maybe these aliens don't even know that they're Marines here. They're now responding to it. Maybe that scan could have given it away a little bit even, but it's an important scan to have as they build this gate. The first gate they're having, so much more aggressive than the previous round.
They're feeling really confident. They're so far ahead right now that they're able to do this. And Doggo goes down. No, this is so bad for them now.
When
now
Doggo
they can actually
wrong,
go server. They can start pushing the server hive.
And they are immediately. Ranger with the very clairvoyant call. Wow, interesting placement. Getting arcs behind this forward pressure.
He probably wants to play the res game. Katz is really good at this from playing so many pubs. Like, he knows all the good arc spots. He's going to arc out the server RT with that robo. Meanwhile, Golden has finally killed Logi. Repair will... I don't think it'll die. I think they can rotate from hub to repair. Unless Lim stalls it.
Here comes Yams, though, with a few spikes. And we have Loam with Metabolize. Loam, a very strong Fade player.
And now Beacon's stuck. He has to go Shade Dive and Bile. That's not what you want to be doing when you're already behind. Datic is in a perfect corner. He's going to pop out with the phaser. Going to absolutely demolish the Lurk. They're going to push everything out.
So scary.
And now they can push this hive. There's one Crag. There's only Fades. There's no Lurks to chip them up. If you get shotguns in that hive, you will kill everything.
Yeah, now is the time where you can fully commit to a shotgun push. Everybody on your team can have shotguns at this point. There's no way it's going to get punished.
But
Biobomb
fortunately,
malfunction.
aliens have done a quite decent job of killing RTs, where it doesn't look as bad as it should have been off of this.
Green Rex getting killed. That solo shotgun probably in jeopardy. Maybe they're going to be able to pick it back up. Yam's in a good position. Gets Infamous from behind. Infamous doesn't even get a
Static
shot
needed to
off.
stay with his teammate. That's a dead shotgun now.
I think he was
don't
worried
even know
about
if they can
pressure
get
on
this
that
one.
gate, but
Ooh, Yim's gonna get another
no.
one. Insane, but they will save the shotguns. It does delay Marines for a bit, which is good.
Yeah, Merez taking a smart angle in on that fight. He was probably going to try to recap Logi, but when that fight didn't go as well as it could have, he rerouted and was able to creep up on that alien pressure. But yeah, Golden through again.
Look at Golden keeping them in this game even though they're behind, just biting all the Marine RTs.
Yeah. The economy is the most important part about the alien's
He's
ability to
even
get
gonna
back
kill
in this game.
Infamous and kill the RT.
Wow.
Meanwhile, this Robo, for some reason, is not actually arcing out the server RT. Surprised he hasn't made one yet. Looks like a pause has come through. We don't know the reason yet. Looks like PK and Sam has DC'd.
I think maybe they're waiting for a few more ticks of res, maybe a few more RTs, just to get the arc train rolling. Does it actually show you on the upgrade path if you have a arc factory? I think it does, right? I think it's still simply just a robo
Yes.
facility.
I think it only shows... Oh, it does show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the overlay. I'm not entirely sure it's
I
shows.
kind of want to poke fun at PK and Sam here. If you open your map and look at server, he has 2 shades.
Well, I don't know. Occasionally you can misrally a building. It doesn't take all that long for them to walk across the map. It could be a mistake.
Maybe it's gonna go to warehouse, maybe it'll be just fine.
Yeah. I've done that before where I've made a shade in warehouse and didn't realize it crawled all the way into server room.
I'll be right back while it's paused.
Yeah, I think you got some time. Oh. Well, Ranger will be rejoining us very shortly, but the game is starting back up. I'm just stretching a little bit. Okay, back to the game. We do see aliens taking out yet another RT Golden in that really intelligent positioning. Does get eventually picked off as he tries to scramble back into that vent. But yeah, I mean, like, luckily these Marines, they have this forward RT, so they're still on 3, and they're about to go back up to 4. This obs probably is going to go up unless whoever that Fade is able to find it. Dudek almost capturing that, Doggo. Stops that RT from going up. Silently hovering as Green Rex rounds the corner. There is a little lip there that he was hiding behind, but now Doggo barely on any life at all, trying to figure out a way to get out of this position, but might have to take regen and stick in that. Oh my god, Doggo thinking about going in there. I don't know whether he's trying to, yeah, he's looking for the all clear from that Fade. They could have been caught, but now he's just going to sit on regen and make sure that he's able to survive. Doggo already taking regen in the beginning, doesn't have Vamp this time. 2 Fades working in conjunction to take out this Marine pressure, and now this alien side is starting to look a lot healthier. Advanced weapons coming up for the Marines, however, and you see the first heavy machine gun out on the field. Merez pushing these life forms out. Infamous with this heavy machine gun and a shotgun. The 2 of them working in conjunction will be very fearsome for any life forms to try to push into. And this is what the shade was for. Oh, Doggo's Lurk does go down somewhere else on the map. I'm sorry I missed it. But I think the shade is almost exclusively to try to protect these. Oh, maybe it's to try. No, this RT now being hit. This is what Ranger was talking about. In fact, even the Marine commander did, they recycled that Arc Factory just getting one arc out. This is just to put on economic pressure. Really smart from Katz. Katz is a great Marine commander, but now we finally see a gorge tunnel being implemented.
I'm back. Oh, Golden Gunalachi, Gorge Tunnel.
And we finally see that Arc putting on pressure into server room. Interesting.
They're going base.
Yeah, this is a base rush. 2 gorges, bile bomb ready. Going for the
Only
gate.
one player on the gate.
Wow, this is gonna work. Well, the gate goes.
They're staying in? Oh, they're gonna kill the gate.
Oh,
No
just
way.
barely surviving on, maybe 2 or 3 HP. God, they must have thought they got that gate. They were going straight for mezzanine afterwards. Really tough. I wonder if they know about this tunnel. Yep, now it's scanned. Wow, a close call for that Marine team. But just having that thread kind of twitching in the back of your head, whittling away at your confidence to push forward. Sort of undefined amount of this gate pressured by the entire alien team. This is a total grinder with a gorge behind it. Piling the gate, Merez comes in just barely in time. Infamous is able to pour through the gate just as it dies. All these life forms are pushed off, but the gorge is going to pile the guns. Merez able to keep them alive. No significant loss of P-Res just yet. Infamous now building the gate back up as the alien team switches around to try to go for the hub gate behind this, but life forms too low to commit to this hub gate. Golden getting a few good bites. Yams also taking out Cats. Aliens now building another res node in repair. They fought back from the brink of defeat to a position where they have some res income and they're able to cap a 3rd hive position. Both teams so aggressive, so good, so smart. As we go into the late game, Weapons 2 now finishing. Wee and Loam trying to protect this tunnel before it goes down. No tunnel placed yet, just an RT. These aliens are not going to be able to hold on to repair room, at least not at this moment. This arc looking for one more victim as Loam and Kingyo pushing around. Kingyo pushes these life forms out. We do now have 3 fades on the field and 1 gorge. Golden.
So I think
Sorry, go ahead.
aliens did a good job coming back. They just bit RTs and started packing together, and Marines for some reason did not get weapons too, which means it was so hard for them to do any damage to these fades. Even though they got low without the weapon upgrade, and it didn't result in a kill.
Yeah, Weapons 2 is up now. Let's see if it makes a difference. 3 fades now out. Umbra and Spores being started, so we expect more lurks to be out soon. 2 skulks on the gate. Yams is also there. Oh boy, Yams in a lot of trouble, but all those shotgun shells miss. Again, trying to... Oh, there he goes. Does end up taking out 1 Marine. Shotgun on the ground, but this RT again being pressured. Maybe able to use the shade to protect this RT. Maybe it's not worth it. Who knows? Not exactly sure at this point. You might be able to out-heal.
You're supposed to ink it once, and then you can out-heal.
Yeah.
And trading 3 res for 3 res is better on aliens because you don't have to med.
Yep, so some res towers do go back down in the back. But I think you were talking about the 3 res of using the shade, which is...
Yeah, inking versus scan. And like he's realized, yeah, this isn't working, and gave up.
So with the ability, I forget what it's called right now, Adrenal Rush, can you make inks come out faster?
No, that'd be too strong.
Yeah, that would be very, very strong.
They set up a pinch on these fades, but they've recognized they both need to get out. so it's not going to work, unfortunately. Good attempt, though, by the Marine team.
Yams taking Infamous tracking Yams very well right there, taking a lot of damage, getting pushed out of the room. Ooh, finally a decent surround on this gate. 3 fades, 1 lurk, and a gorge all attacking this gate. The gorge just healing to make sure none of those life forms take any damage.
So this is typically why you don't put the hub gate this far, is you can't rotate them as.
How did Yams
almost died.
survive there?
I think they both had shotguns, he would have died, but they both had HMG.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. You're saying something about the positioning of this gate.
Yeah, you want the hub gate closer to Mez so you can rotate to it and they wouldn't have lost it.
Yeah, I think just a few feet closer does make a huge amount of difference. This arc, the single arc getting pushed from one position to another, very effective at putting on res pressure. You hardly ever see this coming out in gathers or in other competitive team play. Golden able to leak through, putting even more pressure on the back res. But Marines do have this arc bopping back and forth and have pushed the aliens back down to 3 RTs. Ono's charge being started. Doggo back on lurk with both of the lurk upgrades finished. Advanced swipe about to be done as well. Even though the economy for the aliens is looking a little bit anemic, they have most of the upgrades they want out already. Cats goes down. Loam and Yams taking turns boxing this gate out. Doggo putting on the damage. Yams is actually pretty hurt right now. Could be taken out. But it looks like
this gate's dead before they can even rotate, like I said.
Yeah, they're sacking it. It looked pretty intentional. But it wasn't
I
great.
think Marines had the game won, and then they just decided not to keep pressuring. Like, they were doing so well pressuring, and that's how they held RTs, and then they stopped, and everything fell apart. They needed to push server high when they killed both lurks with A2 weapon 1 shotguns against no meta. Like, butter fades. They have no upgrades.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long that was the case, though. I do remember meta being up pretty early, but maybe I'm incorrect on that one.
Maybe they had it, but you still can't clear 4 shotguns in a hive without a lurk. Unless they just insanely mess up. Oh, they have an onus now.
Yep.
Yeah, so this game is slowly gonna come to a close. At best, Marines can try, and they need to kill, like, every life form in order for this to look doable. And they also need, like, 5 arcs right now.
Yeah, no
Or 4
arc
arcs, my
factory
bad.
to be seen. They did recycle the one. As soon as they got the 1 arc, they recycled the arc factory inside of Mezzanine, which at the time seemed like a strong move. Now a ton of weapons all coming out at once. 3 shotguns and 1 heavy machine gun. This is a dangerous push that has to be respected. But they're going to cap this RT, hopefully get this gate back up. Maybe they'll be able to push into this hive. Green Rex solo able to push this this fade out, but the Onos is on this side, and we don't expect Golden to be timid about it. He comes running in as Yams takes the advanced swipe and shoves it up into Yams' side. Fades don't want to take that tight hallway fight. Golden staying in possibly for a little bit too long, is going to be able to get out before these Marines are able to do anything about it, and then takes an offensive posture as he tanks a few shotgun shells, and now the alien crush is going to be able to wipe the Marines off the side of the map. This is their res lane. They have to hold this. Dedak gets a nice shot on Wee. Few meds do miss, but that's
Ooh, Green
Wee
Rex
going
takes down a
to
fade.
Green Rex there with really
He
nice.
almost killed Yams, too.
Yeah. A moment of brilliance out of Green Rex. PvE structures being pushed forward.
Golden in trouble. Golden's gonna go down.
I was looking at the fight at the top, at the bottom of ore processing. Onus was killed in repair room during the same amount of time. 2 heavy machine guns shredding that Onos to pieces. But the Gorge is now on top of these guns. That's P-Res down the drain as the Gorge biles those guns into oblivion. Now Yams gonna push out of the room. The Marines back down to 3 RTs. This is a tough position to be in, but this one remaining arc has done so much good for Cats. He is going to be able to siege, well, not quite, just out of range of those PvE structures. He could push this arc forward, but it would put it in a lot more peril as one Skulk takes a few bites at the base IP, doing some damage that will stick on that IP. Nobody available to come back and weld it. Golden so smart about pulling Marines back and takes an engagement against Infamous, even though he is just barely a little bit of health left. This is such a dangerous game for this Marine team, going back and forth and back and forth.
But they are broke. Even though they lost the Onos, like their P-Res isn't looking too good. They probably have maybe 2 more rounds of guns, and then they're out. And another gun is probably going to be biled here in Hub.
Oof. It's something you don't see often these days, but too bad.
Also, Shade did fall through the ground in ore somehow, and it's dead.
Well, at least it died. It'd be worse if it was just somehow stuck in the ground.
And you're stuck with the supply, yeah.
Yeah. But that does suck, because these PvE structures are now in more peril.
With some good targeting from Cats. He's targeting the shift, which is hitting everything. It looks like he looked away though, so it's not going to keep shooting at it.
Yeah.
I think Golden's going to get an observation tunnel, and then he realizes he's scanned. So they did save the PV, fortunately. Looks like they are attempting to hold the right side so Golden could get a tunnel, but Golden missing the jump. Somehow going to live though. And this is a comp fade from Pecan as well. So they have so many life forms.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see. Replacing Yams, or I guess it was Wee's Fade who died.
But we can go Onos now.
Wow. Marine's starting to feel a little bit more confident. Finally putting on a tiny bit of pressure again. But losing 2 heavy machine guns for it, it's going to be hard to recover those guns.
And they don't have a whole lot of RT, so replacing these guns is going to get more and more painful as the game keeps going on.
Yeah, it's the Achilles heel on this Marine team at the moment. For sure.
Golden needs to kill this RT in ore so it doesn't die. They have so much T-Res on aliens, I think you get 8 biomass just for HP on things. You might even want to double drop hives just to create chaos or make them have to shoot them.
Yeah, well, with the arc inside of repair rooms, it would probably wouldn't last too long. But that's the kind of thing you can afford at this point in the game. You have a little bit of an ability to trade some kind of gambit, one or another. This is an interesting position for an arc factory. I wonder if it pays off. Sort of hate it, but maybe Cats knows better. I'm sure he does.
So because of this hub gate and where it is, they can just drop the ET hive. Like, it's so far away, and with PvE, they can hold this hallway for, like, ever. And they can't rotate Marines fast enough to be able to hold it either, or sustain the push.
Yeah, this is a gate position that you really don't like. I've heard you talk about it before. It's not very much of a difference, but it ends up being really significant to have the gate just up the...
And look at that, there's the ET hive drop.
Under full vision of the Marine team with that nice scan.
But they had a refade and stuff going on. So they have 3 fades. I think they have 4 fades actually. They have 4 fades, 1 gorge. I'm pretty sure.
Do you like that decision? I'm not sure.
I like this. Like, he should have had PvE go up with it. Okay, he's pulling it from server now. Yeah. But it's going to be really hard for them to take this room with this many life forms. Doggo's just sporing them, so he has to spend meds just on this, and they're already chipped up. Look at this, he's just going to spore spam them and stall as long as he can. And as the PvE keeps getting closer here, It's going to look even more and more undoable. They do have 2 arcs here, though, so they could stop this from going up.
And that Arc Factory positioning ends up being able to put pressure on this side of the map very quickly. Interesting position from the second arc, having them split from one another. I guess to make it harder to pile. Interesting. A hive is dropped in repair room, but unfortunately Merez is right there, and this is going to be an easy thing for the Marines to deal with. There aren't enough arcs yet to outdamage this gorge. I mean, barely. So, aliens losing hives on both sides of the map. They have the res to expend. With still 50 res in the bank, they could re-drop a hive in repair room as soon as Merez leaves the room.
So what you want to do here is you need to power build the shade as fast as possible, start shift hive, and then you start enzyming and inking to save the hive.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there'll be time to get the upgrade on the hive. Maybe there will be. But Marines now pushing forward. Hive at 60.
Ooh,
Yams
goes
dies.
down. It definitely feels like they had plenty of time to get shift hive here, considering Lem was in the chair this whole time.
Well, that upgrade just now started. The third arc coming out. The Gorge now using this ink cloud to the best of his ability. This won't really pressure the hive until the fourth arc comes out. They should be able to out-ink and out-heal. But here come the Marines walking into the room, bone wall being thrown down.
Lem missed an ink wave, so it's done. They will clear it though and go gate, maybe?
Alert going down in this engagement.
Looks like they're gonna have to sack the hive, unfortunately.
Yeah, not fully dealt with yet. These Marines able to continue their pressure forward into mezzanine. Not
really
electing.
feels like we should have went Ono, so then they could have went for a 3-2-1 clear with the Lurk Gorge PvE.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was asking when I said, did you like that choice?
I don't.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I don't like it. Originally, it seemed like a good idea, but it turned out to be not so great. And now they're just going to get turtled forever, and this is what the Placeholders is the best team at, I think. Like, they are the best turtle team to come back on Marines.
Yeah, and we might be seeing Marines slowly coming back into this game. I think Golden really using his brain to the best of his ability, trying to find good ways to utilize this Gorge in the late game. Almost killing that RT, just barely survives. And 4 fades are still up on this map. If you're alone as a Marine, you're pretty much dead at this point. And there's still enough to drop another hive, although they haven't done it yet. As soon as this gate gets cleared, they might consider dropping repair. Doggo going down very low. Golden's Gorge does go down. 4 fades swiping away. They do somehow let Marines through the gate, which seems like a mistake.
Yeah, they're not killing this gate.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4 fades. That's why you want an Onus. 4 fades do not kill gates. They can't kill structures. They can kill Marines. That's all they can do, though. And them losing a fade here is detrimental to this arc push that's about to be going into North Tunnels.
How many fades is that for Yams already? I think that was his 3rd time being a fade.
I believe it was his 3rd time, yes.
Oh, Pecan, not quite blocking that Marine and taking a nice shot. Has to get out pretty quickly. This arc push is starting to roll out. It's a dangerous time for any alien team. Look at the positioning of these PvE structures, though. Way
because
out
they have
of
no
the room.
skulks, this isn't scouted or parasited, so they're late to notice this, I believe.
I think they knew they had the life forms in there when the arcs were in the main room. But this is 4 arcs.
Look, the arcs have got to North Tunnels, like, no contest at all. Like, no difficulties.
Okay. Are dropping
They
elevator
drop
behind
TT.
us. 2 arcs already deployed. 2 arcs sort of not in the same position. Interesting. Do they reach? Oh, they do reach. look at this intelligent way to place the arcs, making it so the bile bombs can only hit 2 at a time. He did this on both times he pressured the hive, splitting the arcs, but also maintaining range on this hive. This is really smart play from Cats, and these little choices are probably the way that they come back in this game.
However, they do have 3 RTs, so you need to recycle the Robo in order to have rest in med and scanless, and he has to drop an ops here so he can keep medding.
Yep, and he's done both.
And you're gonna make a play for this gun. He's not gonna be able to get it though. He needs help.
Yeah, he's trying. Kinyo's trying to maintain that weapon. P-res is dangerously low on a lot of these Marines. Green Rex with a few weapons stored up, but 1 or 2 weapons left.
Oh, one fade down.
Loam goes down.
Loam can own us down.
Yams trying to go gorge in time to save this hive.
He might just be barely in time.
Yams and Golden now up. Interesting, Golden is pressure or is getting that that shift up as quickly as possible. Probably the right choice. But
The next arc wave should kill this though.
yeah, it's very close.
But ET is almost done. 65%. So if someone can get over there, they can finish building it. At least they have some comeback potential here. Unfortunately, I think all their upgrades are in this hive, so they will all die.
The upgrades
Oh, but here comes the crush with the onus.
Wow. The Marines backing up.
Oh, they're going all the way to the gate with this.
Yeah, it's gonna work.
Is this gonna work?
This is gonna work.
Wow. Incredible by them. He's just gonna recycle it, so try and save some T-res, and then they're gonna try and not lose their repair gate now. But I don't think they know about ET. He's gonna start splitting his arcs, which is good. It makes them have to waste so much time on this.
But with
Gotta
2
give him to
gorges,
save his shotgun.
not gonna stay up for too long.
So they might save 2. Maybe. Yeah, they're gonna save 2, which is enough to kill this hive.
Wow, the hive is already redropped. That might be a little bit preemptive as the Marines.
There's no tunnel. They're just gonna push everything out here.
Even without a gate behind this Marine team able to push 4 Marines all the way into this hive. There's not a lot of res even to med. Oh, they're a little bit too split though, and these fades are finally paying off.
They do have an ET hive behind this, which is strong. They could get 3 chambers. They can start Chef Hive and get all the upgrades out still.
Yep. And they do want a shift hive. It is sort of the natural progression. It's nice to have, you know, on this map, it's fairly essential to have a shade hive, but they might elect to get a shift hive because then they would have all the upgrades, and they do. The shift hive is up. But Marines able to reestablish a gate in Hum. This game has a lot more life in it. This could be a long one. As this Marine team comes back into this game. They're still stuck on 3 RTs though. P-res perilously low for the Marine team. Only a few weapons left on the field, and they cannot rebuy them at this point. Lone's Ono's posturing at the doorway, trying to bait a few shotgun shells, trying to find space for the rest of his team to get through. And this Logi gate is getting parasited. I don't even know where that damage came from. A few spikes from Doggo's lurk, I believe. Sys chain is now relevant this late into the game. All the PvE is still in here. So many upgrades in this hive still, and finally getting pressured. This Onos cannot barrel into this room, not without lots and lots of help. And finally, the alien team is turning around and coming to try to save the day. None of the upgrades has been targeted yet. We're going for the PvE instead. I think it might have been a mistake. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hold this room. Yam's lurk does go down, but Maris not able to take anybody else out as he's the last life form in the last Marine in the room. Now this gate is open. This could be GG.
All things considered, this is probably what kills Marines is that push, because no one can buy a gun. Not a single player can buy a gun. Kingyo can in like maybe a minute,
Oh, and that shotgun
but they're
disappears
only gonna have one gun.
right in
against rifles. A3 weapon 2 Marines against 3-chamber aliens is not winnable.
Yeah. Oh, that fade though, getting stuck. Pecan barely able to keep himself alive, just dipping and dodging around, try to survive for a little bit longer. These upgrades are still in peril, but then now the shift is going to work, warping them out of the room, trying to save these crabs.
Dedek recognizing they're trying to save them, gonna snipe these shells.
Yeah, sorry,
So
shell.
now they're no longer 3-chambers, which is good for them. They dropped to a pair hive instead of a... Oh, they dropped both hives, okay.
Yeah.
So it's guaranteeing that at least one of these will go up.
And the Marines on a
And the
pitiful...
hub gate's dead because they're 2 off gate.
Yeah,
This is...
that's
yeah, that's
GG.
good. Hard fought battle by placeholders and eggs, you can see. Lots of back and forth.
Really strong game from both sides. 1-1 now in the beginning of our best of 7. Strap in, guys. This could be a long day of NS2. All right, let's take a quick look at the score lines.
Oh, 15-minute weapons too.
Yeah, that's hard. What happened to placeholders this game, man? They seemed in a
They were
dominant position.
owning like the original, like, look at 5 minutes. They had up to 6 RTs. They should have had more tech than they did, I feel like. I'm very surprised they didn't have more.
Yeah, they had this little bit of this problem of losing a few RTs as soon as they were built. I wouldn't mind if they took a little bit of a break. I'm starting to feel stiff and a little bit sick from my... I had a COVID shot yesterday. My second COVID shot. I am officially immune to all viruses.
Nice.
So it feels good, man. But I think I need to like get some liquids or something. I'll be right back.
No problem.
guess this game has gone underway, huh? Oh no, it's just about to. Okay, good. Didn't miss any action. Back on Zombie. Interesting spawn from the Spearing team. Very unusual. They are going to power build off of that. I think that was the right decision given their spawn. Regardless if it was decided by the spawn or by the commander previously, I think that was the right choice for how many Marines were stuck on one side of the spawn there. Loam able to take that first engagement very quickly. That's going to feel like a big victory.
So because the power build, it messes up the timings for Marines, so Loam knows he can go that aggressive and pull it off.
Well, he wasn't able to... how can you be sure of the spawn, though?
If you press tab, you can see they power built on the score.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they know that 5 power build, and there's no one that can be anywhere fast.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, that's why it's not popular anymore. Everyone knows how to deal with it.
Oh, that is the secret. I had no idea. But I guess you get a little bit of a score bonus for building things. So that can be scouted by smart players. Loam really big-brained that engagement.
Oh, Golden's dead because of his clog placement.
Oh, no.
Infamous gonna LOL at it. So they lose a Gorge because he messed up his clog placement so badly he couldn't get through. And that's really bad for them. They do have an early waste tunnel though, which is so good for them because this didn't get denied somehow. I don't know who was playing trash.
Well, they did take 2 good engagements in the very beginning, and Wee is going to be through onto the IP. This is going to cause rotations back from many Marine players in order to save this. Green Rex does pistol him down from the doorway, so this was dealt with. But Marines have been put back towards the beginning of the map, and only now are slowly creeping out. Sorry, go ahead.
As bad as this looks for Aliens losing a Gorge, because they cap 4 RTs this fast, they're now going to have a fast waste dive, it looks like, and they're going to have lurks. This is really aggressive by them because they won't have lurks when this hive is dropped. If they 3-push this before lurks, this is really bad. Golden's going to regorge for it though, so they will be able to hold it probably.
Interesting decision making from these aliens. They're going to lose some RTs behind this, maybe even losing 2 RTs.
I think that's fine for them as a trade to get a fast hive up because they will never have to worry about it again.
Is this an occasion where you go for leap quick? I think you must, right?
No, all your res is going to be spent recapping.
Interesting. Going shift hive.
Yeah, he wants to cap fast because they don't have much res, so he's probably going to drop Oxy first. He should at least. He should not drop Organ first.
Well, he does.
Okay. Well, Dedek's not pressuring, so he will get away with it. Oh, he's guarding ECRT, that's why. Okay.
We trying to sneak up on Dedek. Dedek trying to take the back of this room.
Infamous with a deep pinch.
Oh
gonna get Doggo. No way. And he's gonna be able to push this Gorge out probably. Maybe even kill him.
Yep.
And he gets the Gorge.
Just as he goes through the tunnel.
So that removes packing as an opportunity, but at the same time, because of this hive, it doesn't allow them to kill as many RTs. They can't really like deny this hive and be as far ahead as they would want to off that.
Spawns are being chosen in waste. These 2 Marines, though, going on to res pressure.
They did split too hard, though. They probably could have won both these fights.
They are going to take the tunnel. I mean, the RT and Organ. Rez backs off after taking that victory.
I think from here, as Marines, you need to rush a gate. You need a gate. Like, you've won a lot of early engagements. You need, like, a 5th RT, you go straight to gates, and then you start pressuring in waves again.
Electing for this Bay RT. It's going to get them up to 4. Possibility of taking 5 relatively easily. And they are packing pretty well now. These aliens playing smartly together. This crush is coming in, but Green Rex is taking the back of the room and giving himself as much space as he possibly can. Does take a skulk out before he does get killed. This gives Infamous maybe enough time to come around and wrap on these aliens as they try to take out this RT. The lurk is out quickly, but Golden gets him just as he comes through the door. Just with one bite, though. Doggo getting in position, trying to take out Infamous. Infamous is going to walk perilously close to this skulk, and Doggo does clutch the kill. This RT is going to go down out of that. Now this will plummet the Marines down to 2 RTs, the base RT and Supply, the only RTs up at the moment.
Alien's doing a great job. They elect to cap Baywing so they can just crush down that side and hold the RT. And they just want to start trading resonance here because they did lose a lurk and are behind. And now Marine Tech is going to grind to a halt here as they're going to spend most of their res recapping here.
Leap has started. No, the Shift Hive simply being used to warp out RTs, going up to 5 RTs on aliens. Both sides of the Marine res lane being pressured. One more RT goes down for these Marines. This res
But
graph,
look at what aliens are doing. Like, Marines they're trying to pressure when they're behind already, and they just can't be doing that against 2 hives. They're just gonna drop down to 1 RT here.
oh my god. Such a hard place for these Marines to come back from. This is going to be possibly the shortest round between these 2 teams we've seen yet. It's not over by any means. Yam's going perilously low.
Yeah, he's barely gonna make his way out. Infamous, the life form killer right now.
Yeah, Infamous playing incredibly well on all the sides we've seen him play today. Taking really smart engagements. Marines holding this position.
So aliens are gonna fan out and try and figure out which RT they cap because they want to try and crush it again. Yam's almost dying in gravity. Gonna need help out. Gonna make his way out somehow. Mira's given up their room to him.
Yeah, Merez only 1 bite away from dying. Maybe wanted to get some support before he made any pressure. First spur is completed. And meta already started.
These IPs aren't welded. Golden recognizes this. He's gonna kill this IP, and this pause is going to hurt them in the long run, I think. Oh, never mind. He got it in time. So I don't think you can recover from this. Now they're on 3 RTs, 1 IP. They can't redrop it, and if they get crushed, gravity repairs, like,
It could be a huge
the time
loss.
it takes to recover from that is just too long.
And they'll probably lose an RT or maybe even 2 behind it if they were able to execute that crush. But so far, electing just to sit on their res. They have 5 res nodes to the Marines 3. So they can stretch this out. Green Rex pulling back, trying to create the space for Dedek to be able to get into this grav room. Dedek doing good damage, pushes the life forms out, but 2 fades now in. And Yams comes back with his lurk. Golden dying on the RT. King Yo taking the back of the room while Infamous pushes the rest of the life forms out. Marines trying to stabilize.
Somehow they have one of those engagements because aliens are starting to split their engagements, which allows them to get a second IP again. But here we go. You see, the second they all go in together, they start winning every engagement like they should be.
Yeah, but single Marines able to pressure these life forms off of the front line. They are holding on to this RT still. These aliens are playing smart and playing safe. Golden back on this RT. It's very, very low already. They might just be in time to save it. Golden playing ring around the rosy with these Marines. He's out so far. They have to spend bodies just to hold off this skulk. Golden going all the way around to this little gap in the docking bay. And he's going for our IPs again. 3 aliens in for the RPs. Golden and Doggo sitting on this IP. This IP is dead.
Mira's gonna be caught from behind. we just gonna stall this Marine, and they're
no.
gonna kill both IPs,
They're gonna
and
get-
probably the Arms Lab next.
And this looks like it's going to be game. No commander.
They're going for the safe play, which is kill the Arms Lab, and now they just try and clear every Marine. They throw every life form if they have to, and just clear Marines.
Loam almost dies, but it doesn't matter because there's
GM's gonna
only
spike one down. He knows there's just one left, GM, so he should threaten it.
Infamous.
But Infamous is the only Marine alive, and we's just gonna, he's just gonna stand there. And that's game.
Wow.
Beautiful call. That was definitely a golden call.
Golden he hit that IP 3 separate times, taking it out twice. So smart from that big brain on the alien side. Loses 2 gorges, loses 1 gorge very early. There was good Marine pressure just for a moment, but good lord, they couldn't hold any res that game. That was a tough game to come out. It's cool to see people going Shift Hive on this map. Shift has been slightly less favored, but we've seen Golden now, or Golden's team, choose to go Shift 2 separate games on this map, and it's paying off. Eggs and Concede, 1 round ahead. Placeholders now on Alien Round. We'll see if we get a Marine win out of one of these games so far, or if it will be another 1-1 score line, bringing the total score to 2-2. We'll see. So far, it's 3-1.
It's 2-1.
2-1, excuse me.
You can adjust on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think there has to be an admin to do that. I know there's a way I can.
No, you can do it. If you're in spec, you can hover over like right below,
Oh,
like
really?
that little bottom middle part below the
Yeah.
timeline,
Well,
and you see like the green dots. You can adjust it.
I
There.
made it go away. I clicked it and it just disappeared.
Oh, that's weird.
Huh. Well, I wonder if I cycled it and now it's showing up again. Okay, there we go. Cool. I didn't know that was in the UI. Nice.
So the reason behind Chef's Hive for at least this team is they recognize how good it is. If you have a good gourd and you pack together all the time, celerity gives you the ability to be everywhere. And that's the main goal of it. You want your skulks to be powerful, they can kill RTs faster with Crush, you can expand faster. You're going for map control with Shift Hive, and they have a team that knows how to do it.
And I think additionally, it gives the commander a lot of ability to, all of a sudden, it's very simple to cap resources behind forward pressure, able to hold 5 resource nodes for quite some time. If we bring up the one thing I didn't look at is this res graph. This game is not very long, so seeing all these reds plummet down to 1 RT, that's really hard for this Marine team to recover from. The kill graph was in favor of Marines almost the entire time.
The problem is the impact of kills. Aliens might have been behind in kills because they're clearing and losing more skulks, but the moment they get their kills, they trade it into an RT, or at least damage on one.
And so many times we saw Marines having to be pulled back all the way to Marine start just to cover their main. Here we go. It's game 4. No power build for Eggs and Concede as they get out onto the map. Pecan building the Arms Lab himself.
So I want to point out, Cats went Shift Hive, or Shade Hive hasn't assisted anywhere. He's gonna instantly drop 3 veils.
Wow, you think so, huh?
Watch. Here we go.
This is gonna be very interesting. I think you're
We got
absolutely
1,
right.
2, 3.
Wow, such a
And then he's
different
gonna cap waste with a gorge tunnel.
polar opposite of the previous round strategy. Slow and steady, safe RTs with upgrades right away.
Well, might just kill an upgrade though. Oh,
No,
nope.
no, it doesn't.
Unlucky with the egg spawn RNG.
Yeah, it was right under his feet as he walked into the room. I think the egg even spawned as he was walking there. And do you think this is for mass aura? So far.
Yeah, this is definitely for aura.
Yeah.
You would go one veil if you wanted camo. You're gonna see everyone take aura. Yep. This just gives them a lot of information to work off of. I'm kind of a fan of it.
Yeah, it's cool to see such a diversity in strategy on this map. Merez, the tunnel is not open yet for him to leave the room. He's going to have to duck into this little vent underneath the walkway here. He comes back out.
Here comes the crush. They're going to lose maybe one skulk on this because they did it so well.
Yeah, very smart, very patient play from the Salient team. We holding the map by himself. The rest of the Marine team slowly trickling out of spawn. Golden now looking maybe for this lurk egg timing. Is it possible? It might be a little early for that. Could just be going for upgrades. But Cat sniffs him out. Gets a nice parasite. And now is going to be playing around Golden's movement in this hive. But Golden commits a little bit on this upgrade. Isn't able to take it. Only able to kill Cats before he's cleared. Aliens safely up to 3 RTs with the upgrades out already. And Dedek is able to leak. Nobody close to supply lines. This is going to have to pull somebody back or get... Golden is actually just spawning. I guess I didn't realize he was still in the queue.
So the counter to this is you rush armor 2, and you just don't pressure if they do something like this. You just out-attack the aliens because they have late lurks because of this.
Yeah, but lurks aren't too far behind. Now that there are 3 RTs up, they will get them relatively soon. Late lurks is important, but lurks are in 1 res, so it's not going to be that late.
You just kind of play defensive because you can pre-cap the 5 against something like this because they won't have lurks to a timing where it matters, and you know they late cap is the waste tunnel.
Oh, Dedek winning an important engagement against Golden. Loam does take out 1 upgrade, though. That's huge. And the tunnel is being pressured by 2 Marines, Doggo and Wee, both terrifying in how accurate their shooting are. They're maybe sacking this position, but it's huge. This is the only other RT other than their base RT, and there's no way to shift any RTs out. The sys change is barely now getting back into oxygenation. They lost the tunnel.
But look how late these lurks are. They're only going to be on the map now at 4 minutes instead of like the 240 you want them at.
Nice, soaking some bullets. Lurks right around the corner. Is going to be able to redrop this tunnel, but...
They blind dropped Oxy, so it's dead.
Yeah, this is...
Never mind, Doggo didn't shoot it.
The Gorge is going to have to respond to this, though, right? They can outbuild it.
He'll go build it, probably.
Yeah, just waiting for the RT in waste.
Loam's unscouted again. Like, they're
Damn.
trying to clear things that they shouldn't be, and they're just losing because of it. Killing EC is good, but being able to at least hold your top res lane first and then doing that is more important.
Well, the Gorge is going to make it in there before this RT dies, and that's going to be an okay save. But meanwhile, this tunnel is getting pressured again. Marines taking the back of the room with all the range they could possibly want, pistoling in order to maintain a constant rate of fire. These lurks are there just in time. 3 lurks in against 2 Marines. Those lurks are going to be able to clear. Lots of res and meds on the ground. Loam does not win against his engagement against Cats. This is going to give the aliens just enough space to take some res. It's actually going to be a really good change of pace for this alien team, finally getting on the aggressive. Merez. This is the kind of action you want to see from your Gorge. But two Marines have to be respected. Where do they move around this? They're giving the Marines gravity. And they're trying not to get pinched here. Merez being very cautious, but Greenrex almost goes down. Weeze rocketing in there, trying to find a kill on these lurks, but they're able to get out and fairly safe. Golden almost kills Dedek's lurk. Still stuck on 2 RTs, finally dropping the third. Aliens going back to 3 against the Marines 3. Lots of res dropped on both sides.
This is where I think teams struggle. It's like people get shotguns for some reason when they should be getting gates against triple alert. You get gates and you hold map control against the triple alert. If you get shotguns, you eventually just get spiked down and all your T-res is gone.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's the tech path they've gone for. It might end up paying off. They're smartly packing one shotgun with Loam getting caught by himself and doesn't even manage to do a lick of damage, as these two lurks are now flying across the map trying to find these Marines before they enter the room. Merez is using his babblers to try to scout out any Marines. If he hears them shooting those babblers, he knows where they are. Merez out of this room, maybe going back to try to...
He's using aura. He's going to poke at this repair power node that's still low.
No kidding. Merez, a really good Gorge player, trying to find any little victories he can. This Drifter placement I really like. It gives them so much information, and there's almost no way they bump into it. I've never really seen a Marine go into that little crevice where the Drifter is hiding. And with a Shade Hive early, there's no way they can see that Drifter unless they bump into it.
Yeah, it's great, but anyone who knows Shade Hive will shoot that spot by default.
Yeah, we'll see if they have the game knowledge to expect that. They're not going to wander into it on accident, that's for sure. 2 Gorges now. Not something you see all that often at this position in the game. But yeah, with this shotgun and so much ranged alien play.
You see, you have to spend at least 10 res because he's getting spiked and spit by 2 lurks and a gorge.
2 Gorges.
Oh, there's a second gorge? Oh,
Yeah.
Catswet Gorge.
They're
Oh,
both
yeah.
in that fight.
That's so tragic.
Yeah. Those few occasions when shotguns end up not being the preferred weapon. Golden putting a decent amount of damage on, but the Gorge is right there in the middle of this fight. We should maybe prefer this Gorge. This Gorge on Merez has been doing so much work.
Here comes the pinch from Doggo, though. Gonna get a lurk. Almost
maybe
gets a
2.
second. Might be able to get that. Reloads his rifle. They know Greenrex is stuck up here. Not gonna find the kill on the Gorge, but now they're gonna make sure Greenrex cannot get out of this.
Oh, and they're boosting up there and killing Greenrex.
Now Dedek's still in trouble. Not really all that healthy. Might have to make his exit soon. Gorge goes down. Dedek is out.
Wow.
They see Mira's coming back in. They should shoot him out.
Yeah, and you can see there's no shotguns in this push. All of a sudden, those ranged life forms can't really take advantage. Oh, this Hive is looking like it could go down pretty shortly. And on the other side of the map, Waste is just now finished, though. You can spawn eggs here, possibly. But 4 Marines are in this push.
They're just gonna nuke the Hive.
And Golden, with his big brain, on the other side of the map, trying to take upgrades, fighting against Kinyo. The Hive does go down, but the Marines are cleared.
So normally they could have potentially defended that Hive, and look, they didn't even have a single shotgun there. You could have had a Bay Gate, for example, right? And then you could have walked in with rifles and done the same thing. Except you could be able to reinforce it and not all in like they were.
And so far, none of the shotgun gambits, none of the times that they've had shotguns with them, it's ended up being to their advantage. Shotguns in the beginning, as soon as they came out, sort of ending up causing some pain. Oh, Green Rex able to kill that Marine before he switches back to his shotgun, having to pull out his pistol just to have some range on these life forms. Cats in a good position, gets a spike, and goes back up into the rafters. Loam looking for Cats.
He should just leave this skulk.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know what Katz is doing. I'm very surprised he re-peeked that, considering he can just waste Loam's time forever if he keeps showing like that.
Yeah, he did. The commander did drop a Robo Lab to try to boost the Marine up there. Robo being the
I don't
least...
think that works.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that doesn't. You can do it with an armory and a Robo, I think, but I don't think two stacking on a Robo can shoot a skulk in there.
Making another push on this hive. Gate's now finished. Only 3 RTs up for this Marine team, however.
Here they go back into the hive, but now they have a fade. This Lurk is able to spy it. They are however. Stepping in with the rifle. The Dodger's gonna rotate in. Thistle's at Meta. Gonna go down, and that's. This is the start to the beginning of the end now with his death.
Hard to recover from that fade loss.
Doggo really well. They need to pick him off though, even though he's playing solo. Looks like they will not do that. Data gonna make his way onto the grab gate. Golden recognizes that this is the play. And he's just gonna back out, make sure he doesn't lose his gate. They will lose repairs and be on 2 RTs, but aliens don't have a second hive, and that's really what they need to be able to win.
Yeah. Third RT now being dropped in Baywing. Both these teams on a very low res economy. They do they do start meta. Interesting. How close are they to fades? It's gonna be a while.
He canceled it, I think.
Oh, there he goes. Biomass 4 instead.
Well, I'm gonna push through the hive and go cut this expansion chain in a second, which is really good for them.
Green Rex in a good position. Finds low in between shotgun shots.
That is so important for Green Rex to hold that sys chain.
Yes. And that RT just 1 shot away from dying. Wow, Merez taking a great fight against Golden. 2 guns down against 1 Skulk. They do scan that Drifter, so they have full vision of it now. Dedek almost goes down. Doggo pushing forward. Doggo taking a nice shot against that Skulk. Golden and Wee just around the corner. Doggo putting on pressure with his pistol. Marines now going back up to 4 RTs. Aliens forced to take EC instead of waste. 4 aliens trying for this crush here. Although they maybe don't call it out in time, Doggo is going to be able to take out this RT most likely. Keith and Doggo, Wee and Doggo taking the back of the room. These are 2 Marines you just have to respect. This is one of those occasions where shotguns really do pay off because they have to push these Marines out of this room and they can't quite do it.
They actually could have done it. They were just no way Dedek lives. Wow, he's gonna get out of there. But they keep going in one by one. If they all went in at the same time, at least 1 Marine dies and the second one probably would have followed.
Yeah, you might have sacrificed your lurk to do it though, and they've chosen not to do that instead. But the pressure is flowing from this Marine team. They just walk right into the hive. And now the little advantage that Aura gives you early game is totally not useful. You know where the Marines are. They're in your hive.
Ineffective.
Yes, there you go.
Doesn't matter if you know where the Marines are when they have everything they need to kill you. They have gates to hold res. You can't really res fight with it. You don't have that many life forms to make a play with it.
And Golden taking EC as well. Doggo pushing the lurk right out of the room before you can help. This is probably going to be GG as soon as this tunnel goes down. I don't think there's much the aliens can do to stay in this game. Not calling it quite yet, but I couldn't maybe one more grouping of lurks and just like trying for a base rush?
You could all in the chair here. I could see that working. Or someone leaking through and getting a gorge tunnel.
Yep.
Yeah, and then just all in the chair that way. Like, any of those options are doable. Because the first response is typically beacon.
Oh, Kingyo going really low in that vent. Rez able to clear Loam. Dedek going hard on Yams, but Yams is there to respond. Almost killing that lurk, forcing him out of the room. Before Golden is able to back him up. Doggo caught running. Infamous getting a couple of good bites around that corner, able to clean up that Marine. But a gate being established in oxygenation. Now the Marines up to 6 res nodes, or in just a moment. As soon as this gate goes up and that res node is built, we will be on 6 RTs to an alien 1. A desperate moment for this alien team. How can they find a way back in this game? Hard to say.
That gorge tunnel I was talking about? Yeah, Cats is going gorge and trash.
Yeah.
There it is. I knew this would come.
Well, they have to.
I've been waiting.
Looking with scans, trying to find the alien movement. They're showing up enough in this hive. It looks like a defense at the moment. But yeah, that tunnel has been scanned, and we'll see it's open. Only 2 life forms through. The calls on the comms must be wild for this alien team. I'm sure they're saying, come through, come through, come through. We need to do it now. But will they be able to trade for the chair in time? It's hard to think that they would.
You never know.
Here they go. They're going to make that play.
I'm going to look at Pecan's POV. Do they recognize the base rush? They recognize it. But is it in time? Pecan's jumped out of the chair. They're going to try and suicide onto this chair. Bile bomb. It is not enough, unfortunately.
And that's got to be GG. It came close. But Pecan was ready for it. Another excellent game being played between these two teams. But now, finally, Eggs and Concede with the advantage. Whoops. 3-1 in this best of 7, making the next game match point for placeholders. Or match point for Eggs and Concede. I don't know how the terminology actually works there. What will our next match be? Are we swapping servers? It looks like we might be.
They might be. I'm gonna go look.
I think that's the right call.
I don't see anyone joining NYC, so I don't think so. Might be just people reconnecting. Or is it actually over?
I...
Wait, they said GG's. I'm confused. Was it not best of 7?
No, it is.
Wait, did we miss a round? Did they win 4?
Oh, okay. Right. They come into this game because they won the winner's bracket with 1 on the board.
It gives you a free point?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
It makes sense. They haven't lost a game yet.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So
right,
that'll be it.
Over.
Yeah. Some great games today. But, yeah, that'll be it today. Thanks for joining us. You can see a large portion of the competitive community has joined in to watch this last game between 2 excellent teams. I think we saw one of my favorite games today. I believe it was the first game between these two. Some really great back and forth. These teams are so evenly matched. Such smart play from individual players, saying Infamous really stretch his legs. But yeah, that's going to be it. All right. Well, do you want to try to do a little interview with these guys, or how do you feel?
I know they will. You
Yeah.
just have to go in there.
They usually ask for a little interview, although I think Yeah,
I can go ask one. I'll be right back.
let's go. I wouldn't mind having Golden and Infamous. I think that would be an excellent choice if we could get 2 people in. We can also go join them.
Yeah, good.
Damn.
Golden can interview.
Yeah.
I'll interview. Yeah, sure.
You want to jump down to voice? Yeah, I saw some excellent games coming out from you guys. It was really cool to watch. I thought your movement on sign of the suicide pressure lane throughout all those games were really, really good. And on your gorge, being able to find good places to put on pressure. I thought we saw some really good gorging from both teams. I thought you guys played excellently.
Except for my clog wall.
Yeah. The lull coming out from Infamous. I thought.
Did you see what happened there?
Ranger caught it. I missed it. I saw that. I heard that you got stuck on your side of on the other side of the gorge wall, though.
Yeah, so I put down like the normal 2 clog wall, and I went over it. I was able to get out fine into X to give battlers to Yams, and then I saw the Marine coming, so I turned around and tried to get back through, and my fat ass just got stuck, and I couldn't get back through.
Tragic. I'm sorry to hear it, but you were able to turn that game around into a win.
Yeah, we were just really hard on res, and they weren't sacrificing the right things in order to try to create some pressure to keep us off of the res. So we were able to just everybody go on res and force them to rotate around.
Yeah, I'm trying to, the matches sort of tend to blend together a little bit from my perspective. But yeah, there was some really interesting movement from both teams. I thought on both Jambi and on Tram, we saw Infamous getting in really, really smart positions to kill an early engagement, clutch early engagements.
Yeah, they've been doing a really good job yesterday today of like taking the early game really well. It felt kind of like they became unfocused after going into the mid game if they weren't able to set up like their turtle phase gates or like their lurks plus gorge pack. If we disrupted that at all, it felt like they kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our goal.
Yeah, did you find that there were moments in either games where you were like really scrambling, you were worried that they could turn the tide of the battle and like really actually take I mean, we saw on the first map, but it was 2 alien victories, but it was pretty close. That first Marine game, it felt like Katz was organizing his team really, really well, and it almost looked like you were going to lose. There's some interesting movement with those arcs that he had coming out.
On my alien round on Tram, yeah, they that's what I'm talking about, where they get up their like mid game turtle situation. They like bunker on the 2 phase gates, and it's just incredibly hard to break because of there's no cap to the Marine phase rate. Mm-hmm. So 3 Marines can phase through within 1 second.
Interesting. Is that a change in comp mod?
No, it's a bug in vanilla where the whether or not the phase gate can teleport you is client side. So if 2 Marines like go to the phase gate at the same time, they can phase through on top of each other. So it makes it incredibly risky to like try to break gates with life forms, because for all you know, there's 2 shotgunners. Like you're a fade, you go stand in front so that the Marine can't go phase through and get away from the gate. You want him to collide with you, but then 2 Marines phase through and they both have shotguns and they shoot you and you die. So it makes it super risky. So when they get that turtle situation set up, like we had to really focus on not trying to engage the phase gates until they were well out of position. So we go on res, force them to go recap, and for a good, 8 or 10 minutes there, they were on 2 to 3 RTs with 2 phase gates up still. So that put us in a really good spot.
The res biting on all the maps we saw so far were just absolutely incredible. We really did see a lot of people leaking on Tram, which can be a really hard thing to do. I mean, once the Marines are sort of in that middle position, it's a tough thing to get around. Did you expect those 2 gates on your tram map to kind of pay off in a slightly different way? We thought maybe you were trying to tech up to 5 and just hold and out tech the alien team, but you kind of got stuck.
On our marine round, we were pretty far behind, and I think the key point, and we pointed this out in between rounds. I think the key point where they got ahead of us, them as the aliens got ahead of us, was we had 2 marines. We was in platform, and he drew 2 skulks in a gorge, and we had 2 marines stop in mez to fight to try to kill the tunnel. And if they get killed the tunnel there, then it's kind of okay. But the better play there is for them to go past the tunnel and pinch the gorge and try to get both plat and server down. So
Yeah.
us failing to get any, like, we didn't get anything off of that. We got a couple of skull kills. We didn't get the gorge. We didn't get an RT. We didn't get the tunnel. So that just, it's a full minute there, the time that's essentially been wasted. And they get the 3 lurks plus the gorge up with their 4 to 5 RTs, and they can just pack and force us to have to like cap and play defensive. So that kind of led us to the turtle phase gates with the repair ET gates. You go sit on 5, you kind of tech, you try to pick whatever life forms you can, and eventually you either arc or go jetpacks, which didn't end up working out for us.
Yeah, so that was the whole gambit really was to like outpace the alien tech and to play safely. But they were able a couple of times to leak through, even though those gates were protecting those RTs so closely, they were able to get by you guys and do the economic damage that caused you to be pulled away from the front line and really gave them the ability to get those 2 Onos up. It was an interesting, or was that, I believe, well, anyways, the Onos on both sides.
Yeah, they got 2 Onos up
Yeah, that was right.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So they just crushed gates with 2 Onos plus Umbra. I don't think they had a gorge in there, but it didn't really end up mattering.
And we saw 2 of the most disparate strategies I saw on Jambi I've ever seen on Jambi. Your team going for a quick hive and lots of economy based off of the fact that you got a shift upgrade. Is the shift largely for capping res nodes, or is it for that quick movement? It's kind of both, obviously, but is there like what's the calculation? I've seen you go shift on Jambi a couple of times, which we don't see all that often on gathers.
It's definitely primarily for the players, particularly on Jambi. Jambi, it's hard to like do a res expand and echo RTs behind the marine lines. Unlike other maps, like Tram, it can be a lot easier. Like Nexus, it can be a lot easier. On Jambi, you kind of like you set up your alien territory in Oregon through Bay, and then you get the shift upgrades for the skulks and the lurks to get celerity. And Crush helps a lot with fighting res down.
Yeah. So you had them on Crush more than you had your players on Celerity?
The skulks definitely were like celerity to get to an RT and then switch to Crush. Lifeforms generally take celerity until you get to like mid-late game with lurks, then you can switch to Crush. It helps clear the armor a lot faster.
Interesting. Yeah, and then on the opposite side, we saw 3 upgrades dropped immediately. Did you know what was going on when they got those veils out so quickly? How long did it take you to figure out what was happening? I mean, as soon as you get into organ donation, you don't see any assisting in there. It should be relatively.
We had a good idea when I think Yams got to waste and saw the gorge with the gorge tunnel. We kind of like us. We made a good guess that they were veils, since that's what they did both alien games we played against them yesterday. And we got to Oxy and saw no cysts or RT in there, and that confirmed that they were doing the safe second RT on a gorge tunnel and 3 veils strat.
And what does the call sound like in your comms? Like when you notice that they're on only 2 RTs and they've spent a lot of res to get those RTs, how do you change the way you play knowing that they have wall hacks?
You don't kind of camp around corners anymore. You just take a good position in the room. You'll end up parasited, but that doesn't matter because they have wall hacks for you anyways. And that particular strat that they did where they're sitting on 2 RTs, you just cap an early 4th and you tech. And you pressure the RTs so that they can't go in res. So we kept sending guys to waste to kind of fight over the tunnel, and that keeps most of their team there. and then I was in supply, and I just kind of like I had to stand around for a minute and a half, waiting for Dedish to pick which RT he wanted to bite, and then I go try to save it. So you just try to keep your res up.
Yeah.
You have more income than them, and you take corners very carefully because you know they have cloak.
Yeah, and so you're always kind of dodging around the corner, kind of trying to bait that skull coming out from around the doorway, I imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
And armor 2 will make you win that fight, even against a cloaked ambush skulk, like more than half the time.
I think that's what Ranger was saying. He's like quick armor 2, and like sit on your res, and you win this type of engagement because of how late lurks are. You're not going to get packed against until quite late in the game.
Right. Their lurks came up. It was almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was more like 4, but that's still quite a bit later than 2 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever the quickest lurk timing is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really interesting games. I like to see different strategies being used than what we normally see. And both these games on Zombie were about as different as you could imagine. And some excellent play on both teams. It's such a pleasure to see these guys in top form. I think this is about as good as I've seen placeholders play. I thought Infamous especially had some excellent plays. And I was really happy to see Merez and yourself doing great on Gorge for the most part, except for that Gorge wall snafu. But yeah, I thought generally life forms were playing really well. It goes to show what this game can look like at the highest levels. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Thunderdome, and I hope it gets more people into competitive. It's not. I feel like people are afraid to like come sign up for gathers or make teams and play in some of these tournaments because they know that a lot of us have been playing for years, kind of at this level. But Thunderdome will hopefully alleviate some of that because you'll be queued against people of your own skill level, so it'll be lower entry, I think.
Yeah, I think we all are crossing our fingers and really like praying to the, it's not unheard of an old game finding some foothold in some, streamers, or something like that. Somebody finds a way to make it a little bit more popular. I think it's so obvious that this game is cool and interesting, and I think if you've ever watched or you've ever played casual CS:GO versus the actual 5v5 format that was competitive years before there was ranked queue. I mean, I think this game it suffered from it's very innovative, but also it was a little bit of a the game didn't run great when it first came out, but it also was on this turning point when most competitive games stopped relying on communities to organize them and started organizing it internally through being able to queue for games. And I think there's all of us just kind of have this idea of a slightly different timeline where the game was launched with some kind of competitive matchmaking, and how would people view the game differently? Hopefully.
Right. And the performance is a lot better now, so hopefully a lot of people will like give it a shot or give it a shot again. I know there's some like really big names like Shot and Lyric have both spoken positively about the games, and hopefully with Thunderdome we can get those kind of people in, because it's like you said, there's some games they have something happen and like 3-4 years after their release, like say Among Us.
Yeah.
That game had been out for 3 or 4 years, and then some streamer picked it up and everybody started playing it.
Yeah, and there are
Who
games.
knows?
Sorry, go ahead.
Who knows what can happen.
Yeah, we're all crossing our fingers and hoping, and there's a little bit of magical thinking, but I really do believe I think the core game is just so good, and I think it's possible, and I think if we support it, we have resources like VODs of high level play that people can get into, find some way to get that out in front of people. I think we could see this game really having a second lifespan. I hope.
That's the prayer.
Yeah, for real. Anyways, thank you so much. I appreciated talking to you and really enjoyed watching the games today. I think we're just about to wrap up.
Yeah, thank you for taking out the time to cast. Thanks, Domestus and Phone and Kapunga for casting the other games yesterday.
Yeah.
It's great to have people that can come out and spend the weekend just having fun watching some games and letting other people watch them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to shout out to Ranger. It was really a joy casting with you today. We kind of hit a good stride, and I look forward to doing some more casting and supporting the scene in the way I can in the future. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to sign off.